I think you give it to someone just because of flexibility. The ability to fight both Bernard and Fearless on even ground is a super big advantage in a hero ban format.
Love that call out, and you can see it is all smiles for Sugar Free. He's been able to smile after the last 2 matches, but he started the tournament going up against that Crazy Raccoon squad who 3-0'd him.
The vibes feel way better at this event for Toronto Ultra than it did in Dallas. Dallas was a pretty poor showing. They come into this, I think they probably feel they're a little bit more prepared. I think the hero bans also probably plays pretty well into what Ultra wants to do, and I think that's really kind of propelled them.
I want to give a lot of credit to Kasaurus. He might be the only person in the world right now that could ban Mercy, and for me, it would make sense. I think he really understands this format. He knows how to protect his characters, protect his players, and he's setting up his team for success.
Hear that, Ultra? Get him on the payroll. He likes head coach. Why not? Get McGravy there.
McGravy, head coach, another world championship. I could see it happening. The map is loading up. The players are ready. It's time to get game number 1 in the best of 7 underway as we send it upstairs to the casters. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Yes, one finalist decided. The other one, we are about to witness who is going to be moving into that grand final. As Puckett was saying, tons of cash here on the line, doubling up that guaranteed prize money, but also the chance at glory, the chance at taking down Crazy Raccoon, who have been on top of the world this entire year throughout. Hello, I'm Achilles, that's Avril, and we'll be guiding you through this best of 7. The big question, of course, coming into this is, can we get to 7? Can these two teams push and pull against each other long enough, hard enough to be able to force out a full series?
Let's get the second semi-final underway. It's Korea versus North America. One thing Toronto has not done so far this tournament is take down a Korean team. They're going to have to if they want to make it all the way to the finals. A team built for success, built for championships. Now their biggest test so far.
All right, well, battle commencing. Fearless tagged up here right off the rip is Merritt, nearly finding an elimination there on the floor as well. Someone just widely keeping everybody locked away here, right on the street side. Point now getting ready to unlock, and Toronto Ultra should have the inside track. Merritt able to find Floor, confirming that kill after quite a bit of skirmishing. Comes up with the goods. Alpha E going to be taken down as Merritt similarly shuts him down, and Merritt now starting to take over the lobby.
And this is the beauty of having that Echo Bang come through for Ultra as well, because you guarantee Sugar Free can play that Tracer. Merritt can go towards the Ash. You remove the capability of this Tracer Echo situation, which Toronto Ultra has been kind of awkward in playing. And also, there's a lot of same strengths on these teams. Merritt and Flora have both primarily played Ash so far in this tournament, and now facing off against each other, it's Merritt mostly drawing first blood.
Yeah, I mean, you see him there, 61% Flora, only at 38, so a lot of neutral damage in those eliminations being found for Merritt, puts him quite far ahead. Finn taking a couple of pot shots there over towards Vega, trying to go ahead and soften him up. Is Violet going to be taken low. Does manage to shield bash out towards safety, but Merritt finds another one. Pretty sure he's got 100% kill coming through here. Is Alpha E going to be taken out again? Now he finds Flora once more.
Yeah, he's online. He's dominating this game so far. Toronto Ultra don't even have to use ultimates. RuPaul's timing on the Nano is so much further than Finn's. Finn will catch up here, but not before they lose 2 fights in a row. Fearlessly with the late death. ZETA need to be really careful here. They're just getting staggered.
They finally find one kill as Sugar Free will be taken down, but that is far from a reprieve as he's going to be able to jet right back in alongside the rest of the team who are currently holding forward. Violet dead as that final little stagger very much hurts. Already 60% getting ready to come through, and Merritt, he is not looking to back down. The bomb comes out. Flora flattened, still 34% away from having his own bomb online.
Yeah, I mean, Merritt just got infinite KD running. He's got the majority of final blows for Toronto Ultra. And ZETA can't even get onto the back line. We're talking about Fearless, best on the Winston here, going up against someone. Current 2023 MVP, now coming to Esports World Cup in 2024, trying to hold on to that as the best tank player in the world. It's working for Toronto Ultra, still so far ahead, 81% and counting.
Sleep cannot connect, but the pulse bomb will. Sugar Free picking them apart. That Nano not coming into play. Flip is there as a bit of a back gap comes in for the side of ZETA Division. So slight reprieve found as they managed to delay, but Fearless far forward. Primal's going to expire, currently antied out. Vega seeking target, spots up the Tracer there for a brief little moment, but already the counter flip is back in. Fearless will give his life to find RuPaul, but these are not victories here for the side of ZETA Division. Toronto Ultra is completely and utterly in control of this map right now.
They want to wait for Fearless, but they might not have the time to do so. It has to be Nano, potentially onto Violet. Turn Violet into the tank, already low HP here. They got plenty of ultimates, but where are the ultimates? Where's Finn? He's just down.
He's taken down. Alpha E does manage to find one as Vega will fall. Bob out, someone gonna get dropped. Flip gonna be coming through. ZETA gaining control here for the moment. That's going to be a nano out, actually, on a Sugar Free. Still thinking that maybe they could try to turn the tides here, at least inflict some more damage. Pushes in around the back, does find Alpha Yi, looking for Fearless, takes him low. RuPaul, similarly, again, will go down, but Fearless immediately gets traded. And now the counter flip going right back in here for Toronto.
Can they touch in time? Violet might have to go towards it. Somebody's got the touch indeed for Zeta. Finn can get in here. Okay, now to floor. That's desperation, but it has to be played.
But look at the HP bars here for the supports. Merit able to just go ahead and tear them asunder. Violet going to be taken down. Florida's managed to find Vega, but they need so much more than that. Tries to get the flip, but now gets jumped on. The nails expired. Takes full damage and gets taken down. Pulse bomb there onto the bubble, but Fearless, he's not leaping towards the point. He's not keeping it contested.
Yeah.
And it is a very one-sided affair and a big statement here from Ultra.
And I think you have to be confident if you are Ultra coming into this. I mean, look at the smiles on the face of the players. You go into this game knowing that this is the final opponent before the grand finals. And that would be the furthest, in fact it already is the furthest this Toronto team and organization has ever been. So how much further can they push? Because I agree with McGravy on the desk. I think Toronto has what it takes to take down a full Korean team, especially a top 3 one.
Yeah, I mean, there have been gaps, but in the past year for the side of Toronto Ultra, but I mean, as the desk was highlighting, that last tournament, Dallas, not their tournament at all. Did not look great. Sure. They come into this one, though, looking very much reinvigorated as well, was a lot more motivated. Now we go into Mecha Base to see if this is going to be a 2-0 affair to start things off and get that lead immediately here for the North American squad.
I'll tell you what, Zeta losing the dive mirror is certainly not a good look, especially the lack of tempo that they had. And it's going to be the Vega RuPaul double flex support backline again, carrying Toronto Ultra through. That's been their bread and butter so far this entire tournament. That's what they've been successful on. And Merit as well. He's the one to watch because he was the one that opened up every single first blood nearly.
And one of the other things that they have highlighted was, of course, the flexibility that you get with this guy in that tank role can play damn near anything. A bit of a Bernard in his own right. And now helps set up here for the opening cap coming their way. Bloody back and forth here between the two squads, but ultimately Ultra, they've won out, they've traded up, and they will be able to get the initial lockdown.
And I want to say Mecha Base as well, it's probably one of the, in my opinion, harder dive maps to play through because you have someone coming through on the Sigma double flex. It's actually kind of hard for Fearless to get in there, and usually you see a lot of teams play ramp here. You see a lot of teams move over towards something more brawl favored, but for Zeta Division, they love starting with the Fearless gameplay. They love playing over towards the dive. They gotta make this work because they're behind again. RuPaul's gonna get ultimate first. If Zeta Division don't find a way to catch up, Violet's actually competitive here. Maybe we'll see a Captive Sun.
Fearless for now, just keeping a couple players contained there at the stairway. Swings back in around the side. Pressure coming through on multiple fronts, but Merit, what did this guy eat today? Finds himself another 2 kills as 4, and Violet both get taken down. Finn now joining him in the grave. No supports, no help. No hope here for Fearless as he will get taken down. Now Alfie in a bit of a bad spot, just trying to dash back out towards the spawn room doors, but someone will be able to find him in the end.
And this is what I'm talking about. If Zeta Division couldn't crack the backline of Toronto Ultra on a far more open map in downtown in Busan, I mean, it's just going to be more difficult to do on Mecha Base. So Toronto Ultra, if you have Merit, Vega, RuPaul on that backline, they're going to be well protected. They're going to be barely touched. If they don't die here, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because Zeta Division, again, they just can't get in that backline. Nano to Fearless is required here. Last map, Fearless didn't even get the Nano. It went to Flora.
Very true. It was a desperate play, but there you go. Nano does go over on a Fearless. Alpha with a pulse bomb, sends that one out. Not going to find a stick, but looks like Vega taken down. Flora able to find that kill, but Fearless is left out on an island. Nothing there to bail him out. So in the end, a 1-for-1 support going to be gone, but that front line taken away. The flip still not coming through. Alpha continues to crack things open a little bit more, but Violet now going to be cycled out as Merit finds those headshots. Bob comes into play to keep things occupied, and for now, it's 85% built up for Toronto Ultra.
You saw a healing pylon for Merit, so he's still in play. Bob on the point, just collecting more points. Zeta Division can't really do anything about that now. Fearless dies without Primal, by the way. He couldn't really contest the flux. It's about to be OT here. Zeta Division, they still have entry ability.
Yep, they have this contest, and I mean, Toronto Ultra looks like they will just go ahead, have to back away. Get everybody corralled back together and then look to retake and finish things off. But they're going to be going up against 3 ultimates on the side of Zeta.
A really important trade through from Alpha Yi. He was the one that actually got a couple of members on the backline. And as you say, someone goes over towards the Winston himself. So we are slowly changing compositions over. It's looking like a mirror match here, a complete one. But as you have Ultra swapping a couple of heroes, it's Zeta Division that have the ultimates. Vega, what can he do with this? It's double Captive Suns. Vega gets hit.
He manages to connect on him there in midair. Violet going to be taken down. Does get him from beyond the grave with that elimination. But Flora Bob sent out, not really finding too much value. Sugar Free was able to take him down. Jump in, looking for Merit, trying to get him corralled into a corner. Bit of peel going to be coming through, though, as the Ana does arrive. And there's a sleep. Fearless now stranded out. The Dynamite through. The Coach Gun to push him into the wall. And Fearless, he narrowly makes it out, but not for long. The Dynamite claims his victim all the same. ZETA in control here for the moment, but Toronto Ultra can turn their sights over to the point anytime they want.
Finn needs another nano target. That might just have to use it here. They've barely got time to give this fight up. If it goes the other way for Ultra, it's going to be OT straight away. Then ZETA Division have to touch, so Alpha Yi has to stay alive here. He's going to be the one to touch. Buy time for Fearless. Then Finn can nano Fearless in.
Nano's used. Fearless, the recipient, gets his way over onto the point, but Finn's going to be taken down, giving his life there for that ult. Alpha Yi traded out. Vega finding the kill. Fearless antied, dead. This map is over. 2-0. Toronto Ultra came to play, and play they have indeed. They take Busan for themselves, and what a way to kick off this semifinal.
I mean, if that doesn't just give you hope for NA, then I don't know what does. You've seen 3 and 4 in terms of seeds for Korea look a little bit weak this tournament. ZETA Division looking beatable. Fnatic looking beatable. You've had European teams take down Fnatic. And now for North America, their last hope, Toronto Ultra, again, a squad that has had so much hype behind them, built to succeed. They couldn't do that earlier this year. And now you have a situation where they can get into a grand final, and honestly, especially in the dive mirror, they looked extremely favored in that game.
They very much did. The upper hand the entire way throughout, and I mean, I would love to say, well, there were these moments where it got competitive. That never happened here on Busan. This was a one-sided affair from start to finish. ZETA barely, 100% between the two maps, maybe even less, actually, in fact. And this is a fantastic start, as you can see the players giving some waves, maybe having some words for each other across the stage, as well as potentially some people there in the audience who's going to be cheering for them. But onus now on ZETA. They're going to be having their map pick. They're going to be having that initial ban. Yeah. I'm really curious to see where they opt to take us to really try to enable this team here. What swaps do we see? Does Fearless stay in the starting lineup? Do we see Bernard? We're about to find out in a little bit, but for now, we do have ZP and Hunter standing by down on stage. So let's go ahead and check with it.
All right, thank you, casters. ZP here with Hunter to break down that first map. And Hunter, that was a resurgence from the Toronto Ultra, taking it to ZETA Division, and not only taking it in a dominant fashion, but it was the resurgence of Merit.
Oh, it was the absolute Merit show for that entire map, ZP. Time and time again, Merit winning the hit scan duel versus Flora, a very quiet map for Flora, and even multiple picks for Merit in the neutral, a huge advantage for Toronto.
Yeah, and this is one of those things we were talking about in previous days where Toronto was winning, where Merit was in ways of distraction for Sugar Free to get stuff done, right? But here, Merit was the main course, and that was one of the things we talked about, that if Merit could step up his level of play even more and be just a side-by-side with Sugar Free, it'd be very difficult for other teams to deal with. And I gotta tell you right now, Hunter, I think that ZETA Division has to work it out for him.
Exactly right. And I wouldn't just give credit to Merit as well. Right off the bat, Vega on the Illari, taking over, applying consistent pressure. It means that Merit, instead of needing to hit 2 shots, he only needs to hit 1. Violet started the map out on Brig. Brig, no guns, so in a long-range duel, Vega immediately getting an advantage for Toronto Ultra.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I would never count out ZETA Division. This is a deep squad, but Toronto Ultra, I just feel like relative to the group stages, what we saw them do on, the first few days, this is a team, Hunter, that has just been leveling up, that's getting more comfortable and is feeling better and better. But you know what? That does it for us here on stage. We're going to throw it over the Puckett and the Mustachioed men to give us a better breakdown.
Thank you very much. Yes, Matt Mr. X has been growing out that fancy beast under his lip for a while. On the other side, McGravy's looking way cleaner these days, and I want to start with you, McGravy. What did you see from Toronto Ultra here in game number 1? What impressed you?
Everybody on the roster. I think that was a bit of a beatdown. Looking towards ZETA Division, I didn't exactly see a beacon of hope. I didn't see a player that was asking for help. I saw kind of a 5v5 that was a bit one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I saw that type of beatdown when I stayed up to watch the UFC fight last night, but I got none of that. So this was just a total blowout. We were talking before, you have to kind of like slow down Merit. They did absolutely nothing to be able to do that, where I think if you're not going to be able to do that for ZETA, you're going to be in trouble. As you see, this is the Toronto Defiant account, but now they're the Toronto Ultra, right? Getting that boot camp down in Korea.
Awesome stuff from the Defiant AK Ultra now. They look better in purple, but they came in prepared. There's no better place to train than amongst the world's best.
Yeah, I think that name change from Defiant to Ultra's kind of done wonders for Toronto. I mean, have they broken the mid curse? They're about to. They might punch their ticket to the finals.
I think they just need to change their name to get over the hump. Ultra's pretty good in COD.
Matt, fun fact. There's a squirrel in that logo. Did you know that? The U is actually a squirrel. It took me about half of the Call of Duty League year to recognize the squirrel, but apparently
Canadian?
squirrels are quite popular in the parks in Toronto. Little drop of knowledge there for everyone in the chat. Fantastic stuff, though, from Toronto Ultra, and now they're just 3 map wins away from fighting their squirrels against raccoons.
I mean, I think, so here's interesting. We talked about how Fearless was going to get on top of Merit. Didn't really work out. I wonder if you try Bernard and, you can have maybe someone flex over and try and play the Diva. Maybe with Bernard on the Diva and the Sigma, you feel like you can be a little closer.
Yeah, I want to see Zeta Division really target these bans in a way where they encourage someone to play the Diva, put Bernard in, play the Lucio, and I want them sprinting at Toronto. I don't want them to breathe. I don't want Merit, and I don't want Vega to have a chance to sit there and shoot my team down like they has been having.
This is a huge opportunity for Toronto Ultra to earn club championship points. It's their first tournament that they're competing in here at the Esports World Cup. And of course, they've had the edge after winning that Game 1. I can't remember a Game 1 winner that went on to lose the series. So a huge first step for Toronto Ultra, but Zeta Division now gets to choose the map. How do you guys feel about our selection, Matt? Servasa is coming up next.
Quite interesting to go to Flashpoint, but this is a map that you always need Lucio on, right? Like a game mode that you always need the Lucio on. So like McGravy was talking about, make sure that they have the Lucio in the game for Zeta Division. That's going to force Vega to play the Lucio for Ultra.
I like that call.
Yeah, I feel like this is a common theme amongst the Korean teams. They like to play the control maps, and then they also like to take it to the flashpoints right after. Keep the tempo high. They like to stick to the same similar sort of, the very similar map type. So I think Zeta Division feels like they have an answer. They feel like last map was a fluke, and they have a way to solve it.
Here we go, Flashpoint, game number 2 in the best of 7. Toronto Ultra already with one of those 4 boxes ticked. Can they get 3 more maps? It's time to find out the heroes that will not be in attendance here for game number 2. And Zeta Division starts off with banning Lucio. So you need a Lucio for this map, and they say, you know what, Vega? You can go ahead and play your Alari.
I thought maybe if you were going to play Sigma-based competitions or wanting to force those, maybe you get rid of Ana, and they're going to get rid of Diva. I mean, this is, I feel like, pretty good for Ultra.
I feel like this is saying, hey, Toronto feels like we can play Winston here. Like, we just played the Winston v. Winston. Let's just take the mirror again. This feels like a very similar setup to Busan. Very similar type of map. I don't really get it.
You can see the stage lights are settling in. Our players ready to rock. Zeta Division needs to wake up. It is time to even the score. This is your map pick. You can't go down 0-2 early.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a must-win map for Zeta Division. To fall down 0-2, the momentum on Ultra's side, then you start to scramble, maybe get a little bit desperate, making some substitutions. It feels like they need to get on even footing.
Yeah, I think you want to take Toronto out of their comfort zone. It feels like the last 3 series they played, they've taken that 2-0, that 3-0 lead. You need to punch Toronto in the mouth right now. You need them to feel uncomfortable.
I like what I see from the boys on the end of this stage. The DPS lineup for Zeta Division starting to smile, Matt. What can we look forward to from Alpha E and Flora?
I think you're going to see a lot of Ash play still here from Flora. I also would kind of emphasize that you're going to see less fights here because no Lucio.
Game is ready, as are our casters. Let's send it upstairs. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much. Happy to take it off your hands and get back into the action. 1-0 to start things off in a fashion that we might not have anticipated here for the side of Toronto Ultra. Can they continue or have Zeta Division crack the code?
Honestly, Achilles, I agree with the desk here. These bans are a little bit strange. Zeta Division banning away the Lucio. I mean, this kind of, in my opinion, helps out Toronto Ultra, who we're probably going to end up playing the double flex support on the back end anyway. Someone can always start on the Sigma here. It's been very popular for Servasa, especially on market. It's a good start. Sigma, double flex, it's a standard combo for these teams, for most of these teams. And because there's a Diva ban here as well, remember, Toronto are second banned here, so they say, okay, you take away a support, we get to choose a tank and make sure that Fearless stays in. You ban away the Diva, Burnout probably doesn't get subbed in. Why is that important? I think keeping Fearless in here is what Toronto actually want. You got a bit of a taste of the Someone versus Fearless dive matchup, and honestly, if you're Toronto, you like that. You like your odds in that matchup right now where Merit outplayed Flora, where everyone just about outplayed their counterparts on that Busan map, so why not just repeat it? Why not run it back? That's good for Toronto Ultra and not particularly good for Zeta.
Well, Brief little pause here. Looks like a reconnect coming through. Admins checking to make sure that the teams are readied up, and then we should be able to get things underway. Yes, the timer now ticking. So, brief little one. Ultimately, everything should be fine. So now we can go ahead and get a zoom in, see if you and the analyst desk are going to be correct on this read, but I do find myself in agreement as well. Yeah. It just feels like right now that performance from someone was looking incredible, and that very well can continue given the way that they were performing. And that Ashe can continue to be a big pain point because Merit was having the upper hand constantly.
This is the key difference between these two teams as well. Sugar Free has obviously played a lot of Tracer in this tournament, but Alpha Yi, he's actually shied away from that hero. Not because he doesn't want to play, but he's preferred the Pharah. He is the Pharah believer, the true Pharah believer in the EWC. Can ZETA Division lock in with Alpha Yi again, like they did yesterday versus SSG to take them far?
For now, neutral skirmishes going to be starting off here. But yeah, that much pressure on Alpha Yi here with that Pharah 2 delivered. Was a thorn in the side for all the teams ahead of this. See if he can continue on that track here as Merit taking a bit of damage, lobs in the dynamite, and someone in Merit will end up falling. Flora and Violet going to find those kills. HP bar is not looking great here for the side of ZETA Division, so an opportunity to try to capitalize. It's Sugar Free does manage to get out scot-free. Alpha Yi now going to be taken down as that's the first lockdown to the point going the way of Toronto Ultra. And they turn this fight on its head. Still continuing though as Violet will fall. Sugar Free recalls back, gets that full health, chucked away down to 20. Flora eventually will find his mark, but can they get the flip?
Largely, Vega RuPaul untouched there, so they had a lot of impact. Still, Vega did get died, but he's surviving. Now summon back into play. Toronto Ultra looking pretty with 30% leading. RuPaul, by the way, just healing someone up, taking that poke damage, leading to a massive nano difference between RuPaul and Finn. It's really important for ZETA Division to prove that they can also play this double flexes. We've seen this yesterday. Violet also likes to get on the Illaria, but he's got to beat Vega. It's Violet, maybe the GOAT of Overwatch versus Vega, the newcomer.
Nade down, not getting the ante. The dive continues here off the back of that nano, and that should just about be the point confirmed here for the side of Toronto Ultra as they continue to clean things up. Merit now looking to surge forward, catch up here to Floor, who for the time being does have the advantage towards that Bob, but it's narrow margins. It's
going to be an awkward retake here. They got a little bit of time, but no Tracer to touch. I mean, this is one of the advantages of Sugar Free being on that hero. In far, in all honesty, on market, yeah, it's just a difficult retake here in any place. So you want to be able to nano Fearless in. You can't really do that. Alpha Yi actually swaps off the Pharah now and gives up a lot of the ult charge, so understands that in this matchup, I think the Tracer is just going to be a little bit more important, especially if you're going to play a true dive. You're going to need that Tracer in play.
I mean, you do, but we weren't seeing that impact from the Tracer on that opening map of Busan, so we need to see a level up here from Alpha Yi. Start finding that regular impact, finding those one clips, finding that backline harass, but for now it's Finn and Violet who are the ones getting tagged up.
We have seen a little bit more impact out of Flora. Osmond does miss, but the Captain Sun drops down.
A little bit of damage there, but yeah, kill cannot be confirmed. Someone now diving forward, looking for a peel off there, trying to pick off an individual player, but Merit able to find a kill. Alpha Yi going to be taken out. Captain Sun going to be lobbed in, and Vega collects a kill on the Finn before getting traded out by Violet, but it doesn't really matter too much as Fearless only able to find Merit on the back end of that one. The Primal's in the back pocket. Violet's going to be antied out. Cap cannot come through quite just yet, but as someone arrives, he will go ahead and interrupt this one from the ZETA side.
He's not really got too much support, though. Supports might be coming back soon. Someone's in trouble here. He doesn't have any support over his own. Fearless is just going to run after him, so that's actually okay. Fearless is going to clutch things up there. Remember, he was basically solo on this point and decides, you know what? The rest of my team is not that far away. I can do this on my own. Primals and ZETA Division will be able to get that cap, and it was looking pretty dicey for ZETA Division. You saw that Finn actually nanos Violet there in desperation. The second desperation nano we've seen out of Finn so far in the series. But it does eventually get them this cap. So ZETA, slightly in the head now. But Merit does have a Bob to retake with.
Bob available, sent. Jump into the back line here. Split back across Merit with the coach gun, trying to get some heals across. And with that boost coming through, I should say, we'll be able to do so. Sleep on the Fearless, the flip coming through. ZETA Division up to 48% as Toronto Ultra gain control.
It's flawless. I mean, you just dive straight to the back line. Finn and Violet melt. I don't even think the Bob was really the thing that got them that. I mean, it certainly gives them some level of entry, but just watch someone Sugar Free directly jump on top of the ZETA supports, and doesn't seem like they could do really much about it. They wanted to trade into Merit, but couldn't do so. And ZETA Division, for all the effort they put into getting that cap, they lose it so fast.
Nano here onto someone once again, just dictating the pace here on the side of Toronto Ultra, but a great response from Fearless helps set up for the kill here onto Vega. They get the pick off that gives them the man advantage here for now. Equalized percentages, now the lead gained. Ultra in control for the moment. Want to try to retain that, but ZETA pushing forward, getting ready to rip this from their grasp. The dive comes in. RuPaul going to be taken down. Sugar Free traded out. Violet under some fire, but ultimately going to be okay as someone will get taken out. And that'll be the flip coming through here for Zeta Division, holding out hope.
Super important punish from Zeta Division. You have someone in Toronto Ultra going in with a nano. They want to get aggressive even off the point in Zeta Division. They'll survive that, not even have to use one of their own ultimates, and then instantly reply finally onto the back line of Toronto Ultra. They've been playing far too safe and having way too much free game time. If Zeta can do that again constantly, then they can get themselves into the series with another map win, with a map win, I should say. But Violet looking good on the support ultimates right now.
They are. And that's going to be key here as we get ready to hit 99%. Someone moving forward, the Primal at the ready. Fearless not too far from having one of his own. With that nano, he's going to be able to get it instantly. Merit taken down. The dive once again coming up with value. Flip threatened there for a brief little moment, but with Vega taken down to the captive Sun, seems like it should be Zeta Division tying things up at 1-1.
Someone also primals there, so that's one less ultimate for Toronto Ultra. I mean, if you're Toronto, you probably understand that you do have less ultimates to play through. Someone doesn't want to get any stagger here, so it just resets off the map. They managed to get double support ultimates off of Zeta for just one primal. That's an okay economical exchange. It's kind of what you're looking for if you're Ultra, because your chance of actually retaking on that point was fairly low. So 1-1 now as we head over towards Palace. Still the Bob online, still the entire front line with ultimates online for Zeta Division. Waiting for Vega and RuPaul to catch up for Ultra, though. They should have time, because the point's not unlocked yet. Just barely.
10 seconds remaining here. As Merit just trying to get that Bob ready to equalize. 9% left to go. The Dynamite assisting here. We'll have that potential duel coming through, but Anti out onto 2. Vega and Merit both going to be clipped up. Expires, heals streaming in. Now Nano online. Bob going to be sent in. Gets woken up, but dueling Bobs. It's going to be Zeta's left standing as Vega gets stomped. Fearless diving forward, finding the pick here once again. RuPaul now going to be taken down as Fearless continues to come up with value. The Primal assisting. As that will be the first lock of the point, once again going the way of Zeta now.
And you'll actually remember in the pre-fight skirmish, the pylon was taken down, so Vega doesn't have the extra healing. He was susceptible to the dive. Fearless knows that. He's got Primal available anyway. He knows he can go deep as well. So Toronto Ultra not quite ready to push. The Bob from Merit does go in, but it gets traded really quickly. Nano onto someone, but instantly you lose Vega. So Zeta Division in control. They have 26 now, and they're going to get their own Nano. So in terms of the ultimate cycling, Zeta in a good spot.
They're in a fantastic spot, really starting to dictate the pace here. And someone with that Primal is going to have to go big. Captive Sun out, sends it. Finn, I believe, getting clipped by that, but Flora with a nice snipe takes Vega down out of the sky. Finn able to stay alive. Merit does get Flora. Might have traded out a 1-for-1 thus far, but with someone getting taken down, that's your tank, that's your support eliminated. Alpha E will get peeled off, so no DPS available here, but there's still so much staying power for Zeta with Fearless.
And just 5% off, 6% off for someone there as well, so just couldn't quite get the Primal off, and now
that's Merit
further stagger kills, and honestly getting kills at this stage at 77%.
That confirms it.
Especially with, you know, RuPaul dying at that. Late death, it's 80+. It's going to be the cap for Zeta. They're going to get this point unless, hang on, someone's going to make it interesting. There's actually no supports at the moment, so all the damage here counts. It's permanent.
And none for either side. Primal's in play. Someone with some staying power helps get the cleave down here onto Flora. Alfie, that pulse bomb could help try to turn the tides of the fight as someone whittled down a half HP. Fearless waiting for the supports to return, but he has not been killed off. And flip will come through. Toronto Ultra holding out hope to try to take the lead here on Suravasa. For now, Zeta Division say, okay, let's just slow things down.
Yeah, I mean, let someone Primal. They can clutch that one. Just back out. You have healers coming on in. Fearless is nearly on Primal. You know you've got to be one Primal up here. Flora going down does slow down the Bob a decent amount. So here we go. Where's the stick? Sugar Free, beautiful.
Finds it, Finn eliminated, and that's the kind of cycle that they need to maintain, pick after pick, whittling away at Zeta Division to maintain control of this.
Because you know Zeta actually probably wanted to go there. They don't want to have to wait too long. They know they have Fearless on Primal coming in. That's an entry for Zeta, but with another player down, it's an instant reset. Merit's going to have the Bob nows off. Flora's still behind.
Nano coming through, looking once again to dictate that pace. The dive will be good. Flora eliminated. And it's just ult goes in, kill a player, maintain control. That's the cycle here for Toronto.
Well.
But
actually, Merit dies, so that's 2 ultimates down and a player down for Toronto Ultra.
Yeah, okay, now starting to shift up the script a little bit here is Zeta Division with that pick, but Violent getting taken out again really hurts them as Finn will join him in the grave. Both support's going to be gone. Flora going to be taking a nap. As Fearless trying to keep things competitive here, needs to get over to the point. Alpha E for now keeps it contested, forces out the overtime. Vega going to be eliminated. RuPaul still under fire, will be eliminated as Fearless finds both supports here ultimately, and the Bob comes through as well. Flip threatens someone, however, finding Alpha E. HP bar is so dangerously low on the side of Toronto Ultra, however, now Merit going to be picked off. Flip is there. ZETA Division back in control. Can anyone get the contest? Because someone still just does not have health. Sugar Free dives forward, forces that bar back up, but they need the retouch and they cannot find it.
Yeah, you can see they just couldn't heal someone up as well. He's literally waiting on the sidelines on a single HP. He's healing off the Pank passive at the moment. And for ZETA Division, a really risky situation where they had their support line traded out just before ultimates were online. And thankfully for Flora, he had the Bob. If it wasn't for the Bob, I think ZETA could have lost that point. He dies just as Bob comes on through.
Oh, well. Now the dive here as we go into the neutral fight flashpoint. The third, or rather the fourth one, going to be unlocking here in 8 seconds. And this is all ZETA Division all day long. Kills looking solid for them. But now on the back foot, let's go ahead and listen into the Toronto Ultra.
Yeah.
Monkey close.
No problem. Yeah. No. They have L'Oreal. I'm pushing. Do the I don't need. Okay, bye. Kill me. I know. Me. I'm peeling. No. Take care. I don't want him. I don't want really one. Won't kill. I'm gonna me. I swing. Hello. Alari's one. Alari really won. Alari really won him. Oh, H1 too. H1. Oh, okay. Sorry. We can go Kirill next fight. What is?
Well, Violet certainly was one for a long time, but unfortunately Sugar Free down, couldn't quite follow up. And for someone, just a single player there in a lot of trouble. Sugar Free at least gets to come to Flora. So 63% and counting for ZETA Division might flip very soon. Toronto Ultra, can they group up in time? Vega with the Katuna rush, big ultimate, big opportunity.
And here it's still cool, calm, and collected there on the side of Toronto Ultra despite the circumstances. Kitsune Rush going to be used. There's a sleep dart to peel off Fearless. Down on the floor, but
Won't
still
die, though.
multiple seconds here left on this Primal. He's looking to regress, goes back in, but now thinks better of it as Dynamite connects, grabs the Mega Pack, and we'll just have to be rerouting around the backhand side here to join in with the rest of the team. But now, overtime forced out. Violet finds a headshot. Sugar Free on the touch, immediately punished. Alpha E in a bit of a bad spot, tries to dash away. Looks like he will be able to do so as Bob moves forward, but Sleep Dart greets him. Merit dead. The jump back forward, someone getting Suzu'd. Getting slowly streamed back up towards full HP. Flip is there, Toronto Ultra in control here for now, but can they run this up to 99 like they did similarly? They're not going to be given the opportunity. ZETA Division immediately get the counter flip back into their favor as they look to go ahead and close up this map and tie the series up. Someone isolated, picked off, cannot get the Primal online as RuPaul now surrounded.
Ooh, I don't know about the nano.
Eliminated. Yeah, and the investment was there. Sugar Free, not the opportunity to try to turn the tides of the fight. The Bob will be the finisher. The overtime will bleed down, and we will find ourselves tied up at 1-1.
I guess I do know about the nano. You need the nano there because you got no one else to play through. It's a desperate moment for the Toronto Ultra as it's the third and final point required for ZETA Division. And the Bob, it was good for a while, but guess what? More ultimates, including the Bob, were coming online for ZETA in that final fight. And the Toronto Ultra that were just trying to cling on to hope there is what we saw when we came back is Fearless going deep with the Prime or disrupting the Toronto Ultra rotation back over towards the point. And how many kills did Violet get in the final fight as well? So clutch.
Well, we heard them talking about it, saying, I feel like this favors Toronto Ultra. ZETA had something else to say. Let's pass it back down to the analysts now to break down the action from Saravasa.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And we thought this one might be Toronto Ultra taking it away at first, and then all of a sudden ZETA Division showing us we're comfortable in this mirror matchup.
Yeah, I think Toronto just got a little over-aggressive there. They won the first point pretty convincingly, and then they played that second point, and they were pushing into their spawn. They were wasting their ultimates. Their ultimate connects went in the bin, and then they gave ZETA Division that momentum.
Let's take a look at the highlights here, Matt. Walk me through them.
Yeah, it felt like they got a little bit too comfortable, right? I think Toronto felt like, you know, after that first point, like, okay, we probably have a huge advantage in terms of, kind of like skill, teamwork, and whatnot. And they kind of let ZETA back into the game, right? And they allowed them to kind of take control. I thought Fearless played much better.
Yeah, we have questions on map 1 for Fearless. He's still a top-tier tank, is he not?
Oh, of course, absolutely. He's the best Winston to ever play the game. What I'd really like to look at is the difference between the main supports that round and how they played. Violet played with Finn the entire time. There was almost never any time where he was flanking by himself. He kept that pylon on his Ana, and it was able to keep his backline alive. Well, Vega, a lot of the times on the flanks, was getting naded, was getting jumped, was getting dived, and dying a lot more. And ended up on that Kiriko, and the Kiriko value instead of Yllari is just not the same.
We're going back to kindergarten. Find your buddy. Stick with him, Vega. We've got map 3 loading up here in just a moment. Before that, though, we had our teams chatting. Let's catch up with the players.
일단 토론토 팀을 이기기 위해서는 저희가 오늘보다 더 열심히 잘 해야 되고 또 저희가 부족한 부분이 있는지 체크도 잘 해보고 피드백도 잘 해서
Around from behind, sleep that on to Hadi. But of damage is, oh, that should be off the side of the mat. One death, but it's the only one that he will find as it is death from above.
I think we just need to play our game to defeat them, you know. We've been playing insane so far. I think as long as we keep that momentum going and everyone keeps having fun, we'll be fine. Should be a free win.
The rocket through the window, nothing scary. Oh!
좀 북미 팀들이 대부분 러쉬 조합을 좀 많이 하더라고요. 그래서 저희가 러쉬 조합을 이길 수 있는 조합들을 좀 많이 연구를 해와야 된다고 생각을 합니다.
I think we have a lot more flexibility on our team, you know. They kind of have some one tricks on their team. They have Fearless, so like I can only play Monkey, you know what I'm saying?
토론토 팀은 이제 저희 팀들에 비해 소통에서 좀 문제가 있을 거라고 생각을 하고 저희는 그 강점을 살리면은 될 것 같다고 생각합니다.
The key factor to decide who wins, it's just gonna be me and Merritt gapping the team. Honestly, everyone's gonna gap the team individually.
오버워치 리그 그랜드 파이널에서 토론토한테 4대 0으로 졌던 기억이 있기 때문에 좀 많이 긴장을 할 것 같아요. 네.
I don't think any of us have felt any pressure this whole tournament. I think we've all just been having a great time, and yeah, no, there's zero pressure for us. We're gonna show up and win.
Are we ready for this match? There's no pressure, it looks like, if you're sugar-free. He is cool, calm, and collected, and this is a kid who's been waiting for his opportunity to play on the big stage. Matt, I remember first hearing about him when he was 14 years old. Talk to me about this young man's career.
Oh, I mean, just a tremendous talent, kind of like up there with Tree as some players who've been waiting for a very long time to play at the highest level, but now showing up in a big way. Also, when you hear an interview like that, sometimes you watch it and you're like, that's a little BS, right? Like, you don't really mean it. But with the way they've been so loose, like around the venue and everything, I believe it. It feels like they have no pressure.
McGravy, it is time to talk coaching here. If you are Toronto's coach, where do you feel most comfortable after dropping that flashpoint?
You really have to think. You kind of have to dig through what happened that map. Do you feel like it was a play style difference? Do you think they figure something out? I talked about Vega on the main support. Maybe they change how the backline plays. I think you keep it something similar. You have to stick with your guns here. You want to be on hit scan. You still want to be on the LRA. I'm looking towards Escort here, potentially a Shambali or a Circuit.
Escort? Matt, you agree?
I think that would be a good shout. I was actually thinking maybe even like a Circuit to kind of see the Sigma back in action, right? I think that's a definite option there for Toronto because they've talked about like, hey, the Fearless is that Winston one trick, whatnot. No smoke or trash talk for Bernard though. I know they kind of staying away from him.
Well, you gentlemen are smarter than I am. You nailed the map. Let's reveal it. We're going to Circuit.
Yeah, I think potentially you want to see Merritt on Widow here. Flora is not an experienced Widowmaker. It's not what he's known for, in my opinion. He is not known as that upper echelon of Widow players, and Merritt has his moments.
So I wonder if you see here, Toronto, this is a potential scenario where they could like ban out a damage dealer to prevent ZETA from getting like a Widow or an Ashe off of the table. That could be something potentially.
Might be a smart move. Is there any way you need to protect the Olari for Vega?
Yeah, I think you could see something similar. We talked about that Mercy ban where they just wanted to scrap the support ban altogether. I don't know if I'll see something similar. Potentially you get you scrap the Ana idea. You just completely kill Ana here. You don't want Finn throwing those nades onto the back line. Maybe you just ban out Finn's Ana, keep your Olari, and you play off of that.
I like that call out. We'll see what our coaches decide to do. For now, though, we have the results. Let's take a look at our STC play poll. 60% leaning towards the North Americans from Toronto Ultra. 40% are like ZP and have faith in ZETA Division.
Yeah, pretty close. A lot like how we thought this series would go. Fans seem to be kind of split down the middle.
We head back into the Qiddiya Arena for game number 3. It's all knotted up, and as we mentioned, it's time for some skirt. We're going to Circuit Royale. Who can push the cart further? Will they complete the map? We haven't seen it yet today, Matt.
No, Circuit can be pretty difficult to get through there at the end, the last stage of the map. So we'll take a look. So this is a Pharah ban from Ultra, so this also kind of prevents them from getting rid of the Widow like I was talking about.
Yeah, also, Alfie really has really relied on that Pharah through the entire tournament. And talking to the Toronto guys, they prefer to play the Echo here. So they get the Pharah off, and that means, hey, potentially want to take this Echo v Echo battle.
What does it mean without a Baptiste?
So without the map, this allows you to kind of play that Ana, right? You can play the Ana's type of play style. You're not really worried like the Sigma gets a little bit weaker, you know, without that Baptiste in the mix. With Bernard coming in, I think you might see some D.Va.
He has been a fantastic D.Va. How is his Sigma? How does it stack up against someone?
I think he's potentially one of the best Sigmas in the world right now. Bernard is incredibly underrated as an off-tank player. He was dominating me when I played, and he's still kicking now.
Bernard versus someone is the tank battle, but keep your eyes on the back line. Who can stay up and who is going to get their face ripped off by the Widowmaker? We're about to head into the map. This one, game number 3, so pivotal for momentum, Matt.
Yeah, it's a big swing game, right? You kind of think after this, you can pick like a push or a hybrid. I don't think it's really awesome for either of those teams.
There you can see the map is ready, as are our casters. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you. Ready indeed we are as we get ready to go into this map and see who is going to be taking the lead in the series. Circuit Royale, the favorite escort for quite some time here in the tournament. It resurfaces once more.
You see, ZETA Division's position here is I think they are starting to target that backline. They do not want the Bap-Illari combo, and while they certainly haven't banned the Illari, I think Bap is an important hero here. Removes, I think, RuPaul's best hero. He is one of the top Baps in the world. So, Toronto Ultra, what was their ban? Pharah. I have a couple of things that I want to say about this. First of all, removes Alpha E's best hero, but there's a secret weapon here for Toronto Ultra. You have to talk about the fact that after SSG have kind of proved it, Ryan is playable on this map, and it is a good counter to the Sigma. So you bait Bernard into the map. Obviously, he's going to play it because there's a Sigma gameplay, the Sigma matchup you expect on Circuit Royale. But if things go poorly for Toronto Ultra, especially, that doesn't have to go poorly, but once you get to the Toronto Ultra attacking side, you could see the possibility of the Ryan coming through, and you remove the Pharah, which is one of the big counters to Ryan.
Very well could come through. Now, I was curious if Violet was going to be starting things off with that Zenyatta. Saw him playing that versus SSG, and was kind of getting bullied out with it. So opposite going for the Illari.
You know what else got bullied? Vega on the Zen actually got bullied by Lip when they played Crazy Raccoon as well. So Vega has a little bit of redemption to do on this here. He certainly redeemed himself the tournament, in my opinion, playing the Illari. But now that they're not going to go for any Illari on this map, Ana and Zen together.
See how this Flora v Merit battle ends up shaking out so far. Minor damage found here for both. His body shot attempt there on the Alpi going to be going wide.
You have to remember as well, Sugar Free really struggled against Shy in this particular matchup. Got domed by Shy's Widow many, many times. Flora, different play though. Flora hasn't really had a lot of Widowmaker gameplay in this one so far, and he's down.
Okay,
Vega.
Well, Vega able to find the headshot, and that's going to be Flora taken out of the equation. HP bar is now quite low as something. Just going to go ahead and hover his way forward as he overextended. Goes down to 8 HP before they bail him out. A huge save to come through, and now this hold very much looking great for the side of Toronto Ultra to start things off. I mean, how many times in this tournament already have we seen as, okay, Flora getting a poison trap kill. How many times have we seen this A defense just immediately fall flat?
Well, ZETA Division at least have something to play through now. Ultimate's starting to come online. Someone knows his limits fairly well in this matchup. Has to use going to grasp fairly early. Doesn't matter because Sugar Free and RuPaul get the kills.
Yep, RuPaul with 1. Nano onto Sugar Free will expire. Now going to be a little bit at risk as they do manage to get the ante, but it's a quick pull back around the corner. They cannot collect. Accretion at point blank range somehow going to be going wide. Vega able to stay alive as Flora on the return will find a headshot to take down Sugar Free, but now Bernard is dead. Vega fragging at the moment, I believe the most kills here in the lobby thus far, as this hold can continue.
I do have to say, though, the pressure is on. I mean, it's not like Toronto Ultra winning this without expending ultimates. They do feel like the deaths coming from Flora getting kills are meaningful. So we talk about the Flora versus Merit matchup. They haven't been sniping each other, but Flora is getting a couple of picks on a Toronto Ultra that is forcing resources out. Flux is gone now, so Bernard already used that, but he has to be worried. There is a sleep dart on RuPaul. There is a rock from someone. If either of those come through, you're going to lose that Flux.
Oh, cool, calm, and collected. You can see there from RuPaul, and there's the dupe now in play from Sugar Free. Flux coming out from Bernard. He gets slept, he gets antied, and he gets screwed. Raw end of the deal there. Sticky Bomb's going to be doing an immense amount of damage. There's the cleanup, and this hold can continue. Toronto Ultra, yep, they said we want to go to circuit, and they are looking immaculate thus far.
Yeah, I mean, in ZETA Division, this is only the attacking side. Like, remember, once Toronto attack us all, they have options. ZETA Division are far more 1-0 on this map. Toronto Ultra can do far more. And it looks like even without the Illari, Toronto Ultra are still just that much further ahead. Transcendence held by Vega. No requirement to use it so far. Brilliant sleep up from RuPaul. And like I mentioned earlier, there are so many threats to cancel the Flux, and Bernard, well, he couldn't even use it.
Sight for sight. Merritt, second on the trigger, will have that half-second advantage once these expire, but Finn's going to be taken down, and Sugar Free finds the kill. Beam is coming across, turns back over to the Widowmaker, immediately finds that elimination, and shuts down the infra sight. Sticky's on to Alpha Yi. He's still going to pull the trigger here, going for the dupe as Violent will find one with the Captive Sun. Merritt eliminated the break on the dupe, however, going to be coming through, and Alpha Yi left out the dries, the accretion, the rocket connects. Kills found, 33 seconds now remaining. And again, we're talking about how often these defenses have fallen flat. This is ironclad.
I mean, Violet using the Captive Sun, they're really low value. You only kill Merritt. That's not a really high value pick at all. Merritt can come back from spawn. He can snipe immediately. Now Sugar Free is going to copy over towards the Sigma as well. Violet's already down. The backline's dead. ZETA Division, another reset. No, in fact, there's not going to be another reset because this is the final fight. That's the whole defense. That is a full hold.
It's over. It's a full hold in dominant fashion as Toronto Ultra look to take the lead here. The spot out onto Alpha Yi, forced to recall here on this corner, dashing his way in a desperate attempt to make his way over to the cart, but completely sussed out. That cart not even making it really into the hairpin.
I mean, and this is so problematic for ZETA in many ways because now Toronto have shown they can win the dive matchup. They've shown they can win the Sigma poke matchup as well. And you go over towards the attacking side of Toronto Defiant, I mean, the options are here. You can just play the Sigma again if you could think you can just, you know, and obviously they do think they can just beat ZETA on that comp, but you can also just run them over with plenty of other things that someone can play where Bernard cannot. But this is just a cleanup. I mean, you never really saw any significant kills coming through from ZETA onto Toronto at all. Their backline was well protected. Vega was getting frags. Merritt was a little quiet on this map, but I think Merritt was also quiet because everyone else was getting kills, and someone was just indomitable. Never really went down. The backline never really went down. Flora got the only meaningful kills from ZETA, the entire attacking side. And I don't think any of the ultimates were that effective either.
But I mean, even then, it felt like the kills, you could have counted them on half a hand.
Yeah.
There wasn't very many to be found.
Everything they got instantly traded here as well. So Lucio, Anna for the ZETA siders. ZETA are going to be defending. I mean, yeah, there's no BAP, so Bat Brig would have been really good in this sort of lineup. Violet decides on the Zen here as well. You do need to still play some poke. They're expecting a poke matchup here. But let's see what someone does, because like I said, he's got options. You can always default back to the Sigma. They know they're better, but if they want to run over the opponents, the Ryan's available.
Well, it feels like, and not to reopen the wound that's still in the process of healing, it feels like it would take a Falcons on Eichenwalde level disaster class from Toronto for ZETA to be able to win this map at this point.
And they're even going to just run through with a bit of a diva dive. Merritt's obviously still going to snipe here.
Bernard's just taking him on the chin. Back-to-back headshots there. As someone just continuously pushing forward, eating some of this damage, eating that accretion, but ultimately able to shrug it off. RuPaul going to be more than happy to just go ahead and keep maintaining that HP bar, building up towards that nano.
Ultra probably will lose a little bit in the poke battle, so they need to find an opportunity to actually get part of this dive in, because they don't have the double flex supports. ZETA do. Discord Orb is valuable here as well. Violet, nice kill to Merritt. That will slow things down, but guess what? The payload is actually still already on that corner, near the cap.
Yep, just about 10 meters left to go here. As that's going to be the dive in here from someone. Vega going to be taken low, taken down as Alpha Yi finds one. Sugar Free going to be traded out, but now Flora at risk. Accretion across, finding the hit, but Flora finished off. Finn whittled away at. Dangerously close to being eliminated, but with that peel coming through, that kill onto someone, he's able to survive. You
have to be careful with these trades because ZETA Division, they have a longer run back. So if Toronto Ultra don't stagger themselves after getting kills, they have a far closer respawn.
You know how that's
a situation now where Flora's going to come back on a cast. Just thinking about the Tracer for a second there as well. Actually, I don't mind the cast because you're playing far closer corners now, so that actually might be good. However, you lose any sort of range battle to Merritt if Merritt can find angles.
Oh, Merritt getting a bit of damage there. Does manage to stay alive and finds the headshot. Alpha Yi taken down. That could be the beginning of the end, but someone does get broken out of the mech. So solid trade back coming through as Infrasight's now going to be in play. Barrier goes up. It's just continuing to take some of this damage, looking for the peak. Bernard falling low. Anti will expire, still down below half HP. Both support ultimates now online, but the Flux also in play. And that's going to be the pull of the trigger. Sugar Free goes diving forward. Nanoed up here is the Tracer seeking target. Transcendence is going to be used there from Violet. Nano now expiring on Bernard. LV will find one as Merit gets taken down. Someone having to just backpedal, not wanting to lose the mech, not wanting to have to try to reset here and get staggered. For now, the hold continues, but 2.81 meters left to go. It feels inevitable here for Toronto.
ZETA have to be very careful with their ult economy here. They may have actually overspent on that last fight. Ideally, you don't double support ultimate because Violet can Transcendence for himself. Or if you're going to nano Violet to protect him, don't then use the Transcendence because you have a situation now where Vega's about to find the timing on the sound barrier, and there's nothing really to stop that. ZETA Division have a copy. Maybe if ZETA go early and Alpha Yi does a really nice copy onto, you know, maybe even just RuPaul to get something a nano at Byronet on the back line. But right now, ZETA kind of left empty. The tank is empty, and Toronto Ultra about to hit timings.
Yeah, beat here from Vega. Just needs that shielding to go through. It could very well confirm the victory here on the map, as well as the lead in this series. Couple shots coming down. Merit dropping to low ground. They're looking to push them back. Contest comes in. 3.58 meters left to go. Break onto the mech. Someone knocked out of that one. Has this up the struck. The pulse bump's going to be good. And there is the slaughter. Just had to build up for those ultimates, and then they strike. Toronto Ultra will take the victory in relatively breezy fashion. A couple moments of concern, perhaps, on that attack, but they set themselves up for success so very well with that opening defense.
I mean, the attack is what you have to talk about here because it's the ZETA attack that was disappointing, right? They couldn't really get past Toronto Ultra at all. And the double flex support's coming through. I mean, Vega didn't look particularly good on the Zen versus Crazy Raccoons, but that's because Lip was sniping up so often. Here, Flora, not particularly fantastic on the Widowmaker, even though I will give credit, he was still the only one getting some kills. Roughly the backline for Toronto Ultra, not that challenge. Someone looking fantastic on the Sigma, as you'd expect, and Burner, someone you think should be much better at that Sigma, was kind of getting outplayed by someone, and it's a really scary moment for ZETA Division because, like I said, they're losing matchups they thought they probably should be better, and they're losing the Sigma, they're losing the Fearless Winston dive mirror as well. They did bring it back a little bit on Servasa to sort of save the day, but currently that was such a dominant 2 maps that Toronto have won versus the slightly more back and forth Servasa for ZETA. Momentum still heavily there for Toronto.
And I think it's a big question. Does this back and forth continue? We saw this same level of dominance from Toronto on the opening map. ZETA were able to equalize. Now on is on them once again. But let's go ahead and pass things back over to the analysts.
Congratulations, Toronto Ultra. They take map 3, just like these two gentlemen thought they would. Circuit Royale, pretty good for them, especially on defense with a full hold.
I mean, I think we thought they would take it. Probably not in that fashion, though. I mean, these maps are lightning fast throughout this series. That was dominant.
It was very clean. So what did you see? What was the difference between the defenses?
Yeah, I think Toronto Ultra ended up going for that Ana Zen defense, which is just a little more greedy than the Illari, and they never reached the backline. ZETA Division did. They never got there, so the Ana Zen was just constantly pumping in damage. They were able to nano Sugar Free onto their backline. There was so much pressure on ZETA Division and none on Toronto.
Yeah, it's wild to say that you can get greedier than like having the Illari comp in, but the Zen is like glass cannon all in on the damage, right? And you know, where the payload was, it was just a matter of time before Ultra was going to break through.
It looked like the Widowmaker was going to work at first, and then we saw the swaps on both sides to the Cassidy. Are we going to see more Cassidy and Ashe than snipers in this matchup?
I'd like to see ZETA Division pick a map here that kind of closes the gap, doesn't allow that like Ashe, or maybe doesn't like play into it as well. So I think we may be even looking at one of the push ones here.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I don't think either of these teams are going to back down, though. I think the styles are going to stay similar. ZETA Division has not shown any indication that they plan to back down from this double flex matchup. So potentially, like you said, the push maps, I'm not sure which would be best. Potentially a new Queen Street. We haven't seen a ton.
We haven't seen it really
This is potentially a matchup for that.
Yeah, and I think if you felt really confident, like that double flex support, like maybe you say like, okay, let's go to like Midtown, but Midtown you can see lots of Ashe play, lots of Widowmaker towards the end. Feels like you're playing right into that.
Why is everyone picking Runasapi when it comes to push?
It's the newest map. I think with also it being the newest map, they've had the most time to develop it, right? Where some of the original maps would push, you kind of find things now in terms of the map design once they're out in the wild, where now Runasapi being the newest one, it seems to be the most well-balanced.
Yeah, I think players and teams are pretty simple. I think they just like the map better.
Okay.
It just tends to happen like that sometimes. They just enjoy the map design more. Teams practice it more simply because they like it. Not a ton of strategic depth, in my opinion. I think it's just the better map, in their opinion.
We're not going to Riyadh this time. It will be Coliseum. How do you feel about this pick, McGravy or Winston here for ZETA Division?
Well, me and Matt here went 0 for 2. I think we talked about the 2 other maps. We didn't really talk about Coliseum. But I think for Coliseum, what's really interesting is, again, I talked about the map changes. The map has developed a lot. It used to be different. The middle used to be more closed in, so there's more opportunity to play the dive. So potentially another setup for the Winston and Alari that they were playing before.
Yeah, I'm curious what we see in terms of the ban, because there is like really long-range sight lines at the start here, but once you progress towards that, the Cassidy can really start to like outshine the Ashe in certain situations. So curious to see how they go about it for ZETA.
All right, let's highlight some of the players who has had a standout performance. Already, production's asking, do we have anyone MVP worthy? Whose clips should I start collecting?
I mean, Merit's been sick for Toronto Ultra. I mean, he's been really good throughout the entire tournament. Like, when you can have, Merit playing, whether it be like Ashe or Widowmaker the entire time, he starts to heat up, get in a rhythm. He's tough to stop.
Let's head on over to the arena once again. The Qiddiya Arena filling up with fans as we are getting ready for the grand finals after this semifinal. Crazy Raccoon already locked in. The question is, who will join them? Can ZETA Division tie things up, or will it be Toronto advancing to match point? ZETA Division gets the first ban. Where would you go, McGravy?
It's really interesting. I don't really have a read on what the ZETA Division coaches are looking for. I do think they want to stay within the style, so maybe you just end up protecting your honor with a support ban.
Mauga.
So maybe on the opposite end, instead of a support protection, this is more of a tank protection. Maybe you want to play the Winston, you don't want to let Toronto ban it out.
There's no subs, right? Pretty fast pickup, and the Ana is going to be banned by Toronto Ultra. Are the coaches on ZETA kicking themselves?
I mean, you heard in the player piece that we ran before, right? Fearless was talking about these rush comps from like North American teams. Maybe they're really scared, like, whether it be like a Ramatra or a Mauga Brawl or Rush style comp coming in, but we haven't seen Toronto play that the entire series.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Fearless is honestly talking about, because Toronto's not really known for the rush.
Let's send it upstairs once again. Game number 4 in the best of 7 kicks off right now.
Coliseum, to see if this is going to be ZETA answering back. McGravy, I think a lot of us may be feeling similarly, scratching our heads saying, having a hard time getting a read on what exactly is going on here.
I think the read for me is that it looks like ZETA Division were initially planning to put Fearless in here to play a Winston or a Doom, something divey, maybe even a Ball. He's played that this tournament, so the Mauga ban makes sense. You don't want to be in a situation where, we've seen, again, in the ZETA versus SSG kind of matchup where the hardy Mauga caused problems on Rumisapi, so they're trying to dodge away from that now. But as Toronto responds, Kasaurus on the other side takes with the Ana, I think ZETA Division had to reconsider. It's like thinking, can we really play Fearless in here without the Ana? Remember, the bans happen before the rosters are selected. So ZETA, they're going to go back over towards Burner. It's going to be the Sigma, but someone is going to lock in the Winston. So there is going to be a dive. It's just not going to come from ZETA.
Nope. RuPaul going to be there with that Kiriko. Vega on the Lucio, trying to get that speed. Sugar Free on a very deep lurk around the flanks here, but Merit going to be taken down as Violet, able to find first blood here on Coliseum. Solid start. Sugar Free within like his position red.
Well spotted. Flora knew he was a tracer missing from the map. Someone looked behind. You have a situation here as well where someone is going to instantly swap over towards the Diva. You do have to respect Alpha East Fire here, so that is a good swap. Winston into ZETA Division is kind of average when you also have the Fire there, plus you're diving to double flex support. And what's interesting is ZETA are kind of mostly playing the style that Ultra have been playing throughout the entire tournament. It's Ultra that are swapping themselves up a little bit. Vega and RuPaul playing a Lucio Curry, something I think has been a little bit more rare from Ultra this tournament.
Has been. As okay, RuPaul going to be taken down. Finn able to find that kill, but Alpha E traded out. Merit with the solid one takes out Alpha E. Getting rid of that far out of the sky. Some pressure here on towards Flora. Have to clear the pylon though, just to make him that much more vulnerable. And Sugar Free going to be taken down. Flora finding the headshot. And Alpha E going to be swapping over here back to the Tracer. But the fight volley going the way here of ZETA Division as they look to continue this push. Violet lone support. Does have that Captain Sun ready to go. Has to set up the pylon just to get himself back up to full HP, but they're getting quite a bit of distance here.
You have to be really concerned about first pick potential here now that ZETA are running Sigma double flex. I mean, Flora is starting to heat up a little bit. Merit still yet to really respond here. At least they're getting equal damages, and we're about to see double bobs come through. Violet also getting plenty of damage in. There's Captive Sun.
Captive Sun coming through. Quick TP and a Suzu out from RuPaul. Looks like HP bar is not going to get popped this time around. It's Violet taking low, but
He's still alive.
Whips that final shot that he so desperately needed. Flora trying to peel him back. Someone will be able to pursue far enough forward to go ahead and find that kill. Flora going to be taken down as well, as the Kitsune Rush has to be committed here from the side of Toronto Ultra. That will give them their first semblance of control.
They might have opened up the midpoint here for Colosseum, but one thing remains true for this map. The high ground, little spiral going up towards the cap is still difficult to take. You need to have ultimate advantage, ideally. For Zeta Division, the Bob was there, but Violet was really low HP. Didn't get healed up. Captive Sun not giving them the tempo that we're looking for, as Violet now moves over towards a break to alleviate some of that dive pressure.
A lot of musical heroes being played. Love to see the adjustments here from the teams. As for now, real push beginning here for the side of Toronto Ultras. They try to get the bot out in towards the open. Difference of about 36 meters here for now. Bob from Florida open things up, keeps things locked in place. Answering Bob will get very swiftly taken down. And Sugar Free again going on a bit of a sneaky walkabout.
Probably has a kill
here on the floor. I mean, could he have the kill, or is it going to be that Immortality Field? Well, yes, it's going to be the Immortality Field coming through, but also a dodge out on that Pulse Bomb. Dive forward though, Vega able to get on top of Finn, finds that elimination. Now Violet going to be taken down. And this is a great moment to strike here from Toronto Ultra. Right as that Amp Matrix comes through, they manage to nullify it completely.
It's just good calling here. I mean, Sugar Free's in the backline. He's telling we can dive this one, so even though the pulse misses, guess what? Someone follows through. Vega has the sound barrier and a great boop on Finn to push him back into combat, and now we really are risking that cap coming through. In fact, Zeta might not be able to contest this one at all. You might even see a death if Violet is not careful.
And Violet does manage to find some stability. Whip shot out. Bernard now having to match here on the Diva. And Pulse Bomb was committed on the back end there from Alpha Yi, trying to find some desperation pick, but it comes up shy. Now everybody at risk here in the side room, and someone, well, he's like, all right, if I have a self-destruct, I'm going to try to get back into the mech. Will not be allowed to do so. Violet with the Shield Rage will keep them alive. But they go ult for ult. The rally pops. Alpha Yi going to be taken down in the meantime. The bot so very close to taking the lead as well as the checkpoint here for the side of Toronto Ultra, but ultimately they might have to backpedal.
It's too hard without someone alive, so he's going to swap over towards the Winston here as well, but just to refer back to that previous fight, someone was taking a little bit of risk. He locked out, I think, 3 players on Zeta Division on its lonesome, hoping that Toronto Ultra can do something with everyone else on the map, but Alfie on the Tracer did a really good job of just stalling the payload, preventing the cap, preventing even the flip, and as someone goes back to the Winston, guess what? Alfie back on the fire.
Let's see how they fare. Sugar Free just trying to take note here, keep some eyes over onto Alpha Yi, track that far and make sure that he's not going to be able to get any kind of unexpected angles to even those rockets, as right now hovering low on the ground. Will be forced back. Bob locked in here, or the bots rather, locked into a neutral position as the bombs are getting ready to join us here in about 20-odd%.
It's not a lot to counter on Ultra side, so tempo beat might just have to be the play here for Vega. Finn looking over towards the window. 5 minutes remaining now for both on teams, as there's still, I think, better poke from Zeta Division, but Bernard's so low here, barely staying alive. I don't know if you can play this Finn window with Bernard having to back out. Okay, it's actually going to be respect being shown by Ultra. They're not going to be the ones to do anything here, waiting out the window, and now possibly the tempo beat.
I mean, it looked like they were more than happy just to keep things in place. Bernard with an ice eat will take away Sugar Free's Pulse Bomb. They lose out on Alpha E all the same. Someone, however, going to be traded out as Bernard able to go ahead and find that kill. DPS for the tank, still going to be a relative trade up here for the side of Zeta Division as they continue to lock this bot in position here at the center. Rush forward, RuPaul taking low. He's trying to get himself out, but just has nowhere to go. Now Vega's got himself stranded as well. 2 more kills collected here by Bernard. Self-destruct at the ready, and the bot once again going to be pushing forward.
Yeah, double supports down there for Zeta Division. Well played. They were able to survive against a tempo beat and now threatening the cap itself, but there will be a touch. RuPaul nearly onto the ult, but Prime will be so good for someone here as well. They need to delay. They need to be in a position to be able to stop this. The checkpoint actually does come on through, but can they at least prevent extra meterage here? Zeta, they got their wish. They got what they wanted. They could even back out if they want to here as well.
Someone trying to zone them back. We'll have them contained here in the underpass room for now. Leaps up over the top, dodging out, getting some heals. Just keeping that bot locked in position. But Rally's going to roll. Zeta Division wanting to continue on their merry way, and for now they will. The bot beginning. Shield basher onto someone. Continuing rush out from RuPaul, and the Primal Rage is going to be popped. Goes up and over the top, looking to try to isolate anybody that he can. Gets a bit of a pick-off here onto Finn, but can he confirm the kill? Finn trying to fight back, but cannot do enough there versus the Winston. But at the same time, self-destruct going to be sent, gets himself back into the mech, but they're down that crucial support. Now they're down that far from the skies.
They just don't have any trading here. Alfie doesn't quite have the barrage, and felt thin. No window to play through here as well. They still do get what they wanted, though. They got the cap, and they got double ultimates out of Toronto Ultra, so I think it's worthwhile playing that fight. Get the Primal out of the hands of someone, and RuPaul to get the Kasuna Rush as well. So Zeta Division in a position where 3 minutes left to go. They have a reasonable lead. Not enough to really win the map just yet. If we look over towards the macro side of things, you look over towards the economy, starting to look a little bit more healthy here. Flora just needs to catch up to Merit, and then the Bob can defend the point, and they can get past this and just stall things out, get that timer all the way down. Toronto Ultra, without having capped yet, are still in a precarious situation.
Sugar Free again on the hunt. Looking for Finn. Will be able to identify that position, so not going to be able to come up with the goods. And again, when you're trying to go for that BAP, unless the Immortality Field has already been burned, confirming the kill is going to be proved to be very difficult. Sugar Free, though, lobbed in, connects onto the shield. Immortality Field is out all the same. They're going to be taken down. Sugar Free eliminated as Alfie swoops into the rescue. And for now, this push going to be denied as the cleanup continues. Alfie finding someone, Merit trying to get his way out to safety, but not sure if he's going to be able to do so. RuPaul will give his life so that Merit can live for a little bit longer, but ultimately he will be claimed.
Just super hard to push in the high ground there. I mean, what they did before Toronto Ultra to try and get the distance for the checkpoint is they had a brilliant dive set up by Sugar Free into Vega, then using a tempo beat immediately onto the high ground for the 5-man. Zeta Division here, though, they have Alfie on the far, which is super hard to take down. It's up to Merit to try and pressure him away. And Flora still has a counter Bob, so the Merit Bob came on through. Flora decides, you know what, I can save this one.
Well, now, 1 minute and 45 remaining. Not much time to work with here in Toronto. While it has been close as far as the Meteor is concerned, they still have to get that checkpoint.
And it might cost them ultimates here, just in the neutral and the midpoint, to be able to push back into capable territory. So you're going to lose economy power here for Toronto Ultra if you can't push the bot forward without neutral trades.
Sugar Free again here on the hunt. Bernard just playing out on a bit of an island here by himself. He's diving to the back. It's going to be the Katsuna Rush used here. Bob out from Floor, rallying out Pop from Violet. Primal Rage is going to be coming in somewhat. Once again, just trying to get a pick off here, trying to isolate a target, but the juggle is not coming to fruition. He's got to exit. Jumps back down below half HP. Heals will stream back through, but now full advantage here to the side of Zeta Division, who have that self-destruct. The window nearly online, the barrage ready to roll.
What does Ultra have left here? They used everything. They fired every weapon they have, and now it's under 1 minute. We're about to hit the OT, and Zeta still hold decent ultimates. Finn is about to rotate back into window. Alfie is still holding the barrage because he hasn't had to use it, and it's always going to be useful. At some point, you will forget the barrage is there. Someone's going to get caught out, and especially that is true in the OT. I mean, I think the Alfie passive damage has also been so good because nothing really blocks it out.
I mean, he's just holding Sugar Free really here at arm's length, just stopping him from getting into the back line, just keeping him honest, saying, like, yeah, you don't get access here. Now he's looking to try to take him down. That might be an overstep, as somebody's going to have to turn around and try to go ahead and get some heals across onto the farm, which they are able to do. Bernard playing forward, finds one, Merit gone, someone eliminated with 15 seconds remaining. It seems like Zeta Division are going to be keeping us neck and neck. Just the supports left alive. Vega will die. RuPaul is going to have to try to go for a touch to support that overtime, but off the back of that, there is not much more to be done. I don't even think he can get there, and he cannot. Alfie will use the barrage and seal the deal here on Colosseo. We are tied up once again. 2-2, both of these teams completely and utterly inseparable.
And the barrage is always a coup de grace right towards the end. RuPaul sitting on 90%. I mean, tempo there just unfortunately not available for the Toronto Ultra. They had one really good push. Again, the sugar-free dive with someone on the Diva going to the high ground with the Vega tempo beat. But other than that, it was basically all Zeta Division. They had the lead. They never lost the lead. They got the cap. They bled ultimates out of the Toronto Ultra, and a lot of these pushes in the neutral as well, because Zeta Division was so good at defending, put the bot back in the neutral. Toronto Ultra have to burn so many ultimates. I think for me, it was probably over when the bot was in the middle of the map. Toronto 3 ulted, including double support ultimate, and didn't get anything done with that.
Well, neck and neck, just like we like to see it. Maybe this series is destined to give us our first Game 7. Now we'll pass it back down to Puckett.
3 more games. 3 more games. We want to go the distance here on the analyst desk because this has been a fun fight. Kind of fast games, but whoever picks the map is walking away with the W so far.
Yeah, it seems like even how we thought it was a little bit odd. I think Avril as well in terms of like Zeta Division, what they want to do in terms of like map and ban seemed to work out pretty well there.
McGravy, what did you see in this most recent game from Zeta?
I think ZETA really identified that the fact there was no Ana on the field allowed them to play the Bat Brig, the really survivable backline. And Toronto didn't really have the damage, didn't have the Ana nade, didn't have anything really to deal with it the entire time.
I've liked what we've seen from both sides. Sugar Free kind of getting silenced in that last game. The ults never really online as a squad, as ZETA just kept putting on that pressure throughout push.
Yeah, and I think when you kind of look at how this one went, right, I think you start to see that, you know, Flora is starting to step up a little bit, right, playing much better. I also think that, like, D.Va is really strong in the meta right now. Like, there's an argument to be made that, like, even D.Va before these, like, major buffs was really good against Winston in, like, that head-to-head matchup, where now D.Va's even stronger, and Bernard, I think, just showing how good he is on the hero.
Yeah, I think following up, I think this Bat D.Va is kind of an interesting composition. It's kind of this hybrid setup where you have that range damage, but you also have a ton of survivability. So if Toronto stands there and they just sit there and get shot, it's really hard. So they have to go in, they have to go fast, but then they don't have the damage.
Matt, did you ever expect to see Rascal coaching a team in your time?
I mean, maybe. It seems like the natural kind of progression for a lot of, you know, players to go into coaching. Just like
this one?
Maybe he'll be standing right where I am next year. Who knows?
And for the chat, where do I get a green suit like that, McGravy?
Little shop.
Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles, California.
Or you can tweet McGravy. He'll pick it up for you.
He's a good guy. We'll do that for you. Tweet McGravy right now. Tell him what size you need. And, of course, let us know your predictions. We asked at the start who is going to win. 60% felt Toronto Ultra. 40% felt ZETA Division. Matt, after watching 4 maps here, who are you feeling to take the final 3?
Oh, I mean, I think it's almost like you don't really kind of know until we see, like, okay, Toronto's going to pick the map, and then ZETA is able to win it, right? Everybody seems to kind of be winning, you know, their home territory, so to speak. Going into hybrid, I think Toronto, they'll try and make, you know, Source has been really good throughout this event, trying to really kind of give them a hand up in some of these maps, so I fully expect them to get an advantage here.
The good news is whoever wins map 1 generally wins the series, but that could turn on its head if ZETA is able to make it back-to-back map wins. Toronto only has 1 game mode to choose from, and it's definitely hybrid.
What I'll say is interesting about this series is that it's not normal for hybrid to be the last pick. Usually map 5 is your least valuable pick, but hybrid is such a diverse game mode where you have so many options. And right now, I think Toronto's happy to be, if you're going to lose a map, I think it's now, because hybrid is an excellent choice. I think they have a lot of options, but I think, in my opinion, they're taking it back to Midtown because it's good for the Winston, it's good for the Sigma, and that plays into someone's strengths.
You agree with that? You want to see Midtown?
Yeah, I think it would be Midtown as well. I think it kind of plays, for the double flex support if they want. The one you would have not seen Hollywood pick. That for sure is not going to be in it. So I was really between this and Eigenwald, but this seems to be the preferred pick for a lot of teams.
All right, we are heading back to New York City, it looks like. And fun fact, you saw the building Grand Central. There's some arches in Grand Central. Go to the corner, speak into the arch. Someone on the other side can hear you. Found that out 7 years into living there.
Oh.
You're welcome, Matt. Dropping knowledge bombs all over the place. Squirrels,
you ever been
arches.
Never been.
But let's talk about heroes. What do you want to ban right now if you're ZETA? What are you going for, knowing that we are now deep in this best of 7?
Do you expect, I think, maybe Toronto here to go with a support ban early on? And then I think for ZETA, do you look at, like, one of the long-range hit scan, potentially?
Yeah, I think you want to protect the Vega Alari. They've shown, again, time and time again, they want to play the double flex. Hasn't really changed. So yeah, then it kind of opens up for ZETA. It's not an easy decision. I think banning hit scan's not super valuable. If they ban the Ashe, Merrick can just play the Widow. We've seen some incredible performances on Widow courts, especially on that map. He pulled out the Widowmaker and just
lost though.
Yeah. Not favorable for the crowd. That's why I didn't say it. But you have seen Cords play the Widow, and he absolutely took over. I think Merritt's capable of that.
Matt?
Yeah, I think you may be looking at here for Toronto, like, do you just kind of throw a ban like how they did the Mercy right into the support category?
Right.
I know, protect the Alari or something like that. For ZETA, like, is there a tank that you want? Like, do you want to get rid of, like, Sigma maybe? Like, you can kind of, like, force someone to play, whether it be, like, Ramatra or D.Va here. Like, potentially that could be an option. A lot of different things they can go to if they just pick the support on the other side.
Who's got the better RAM if it does go to the Ramatra?
I think someone's pretty good on the Ramatra. I think that's, like, a style that they feel comfortable playing.
I think he's a lot more experienced on the hero, and I worry about a Sigma ban from ZETA's side because you can just replace it with Ramatra. You can play slow. Yes, you lose a little bit of range damage, but it's not so much about the damage. It's about anchoring the map and making sure that nobody can walk past you. So Zeta Vision, I don't even know. This is hard. This is a really hard decision. You really got to look at Changun and Rascal here to make a decision.
We have no substitutes. They are going to keep the same 10 men on the stage. Merit, Sugar Free, Someone, Vega, and RuPaul making up this Toronto Ultra lineup. And of course, we've seen some stellar performances from Someone. We've seen fantastic plays and an MVP award going to Sugar Free already. Merit's time to earn his MVP potentially for Toronto Ultra, but he's going to have to battle through Flora and Alpha Yi. Let's take a look here as we head back to New York City for Midtown. Hybrid, you got to unlock that first point and then push your little choo-choo truck.
And with Bernard still in the game, it probably tells you that, you know, through the ban phase here, you're going to see like D.Va and Sigma potentially find their way through, right? Like if one of those went and you thought you maybe had to play like, you know, Winston, you know, even kind of like some type of like Reinhardt, you know, composition with like TPs and whatnot, which we haven't really seen that much from either of these teams, you know, maybe Toronto once or twice. Yes, this is definitely why Bernard is still in, right? Winston gone.
Yeah, they want nothing to do with Fearless. We said, hey, listen, we're showing you. We're playing slow. We're playing the double flex. We're probably going to try and play the Sigma. We do not want Fearless in here at all. We don't even want to risk it.
What are the most dangerous DPS out here now, Matt?
Well, I think they probably go support now that they've gone tank on the other side. I think maybe they probably weren't even going to play Winston anyway here, so this could be an opportunity for Zeta. Like, do you look at one of those supports to get out of the way?
What is Bernard's best tank with Winston out of the lineup?
Has to be D.Va, surely. It really depends on what Toronto wants to show. They shut down the Widowmaker. So as I was saying earlier, they respect the threat that Merit, you know, proposes to their lineup. You know, Merit, I wouldn't say you see a ton of Widow. Maybe on the third point you see it get pulled out every once in a while, but I think he's happy to stay on the Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, he's played Ashe like, you know, play rates like above 90. Yeah, so like, you know, the Widowmaker would have been like an interesting pick towards the end. It's definitely a pick though, the Widow, that can like prevent a team from full capping, right? You can get deep back into your spawn on the defensive side of things and make it really difficult for them to push.
We are just fixing some audio issues out there on the stage, making sure all 10 players are dialed in. And the refs, of course, making sure everyone is ready. It's been a fantastic series so far. We haven't seen a Game 7 yet here at the Esports World Cup. It's time for it now, McGravy. I want to see it right now.
Yeah, I do too. I kind of want to elaborate on the Widow ban a little bit. I think without Widowmaker on the field, I think from Zeta Division, this really shows, hey, we want to play these greedy supports. We kind of want to match you up here. Because without the Widowmaker, you can play those slow supports without the risk of the headshots across the map. So I expect to see Violet and Finn being a little slow on this map.
Zeta Division feeling confident in their players. Toronto Ultra making sure Fearless isn't causing problems in the back line. The map is ready. Let's send it upstairs to Achilleos and Avril. Gentlemen, take it away.
Once again in position, one of these teams to try to take the lead. Perfectly tied up here at 2-2. Will the pendulum continue to swing back and forth between them? We will find out. But first, we'll see who's going to be able to claim this one. Toronto Ultra thus far looking good. The map pick that we got to see from them. Can they put up a similar performance here on Midtown?
And another map 6 guaranteed in the series. Zeta Division just came away from 1 versus Space Station yesterday in, honestly, what was a very tight ending, a very close game that could have gone to 7. Today's game absolutely can go to 7 as well. I'll talk about these bans a little bit here. Toronto Ultra getting rid of the Winston. It's interesting to me because these two teams have very similar strengths, right? I actually didn't think that Winston was going to be prevalent anyway because a low chance that Fearless gets subbed in. Bernard and Someone, they're going to play very similar heroes. They have been throughout the entire series. Maybe that Survasa loss with Toronto Ultra shook them a little bit. Maybe they just don't want to deal with the outlier. They're confident in the Sigma double flex matchup. Let's see what Zeta want to do on this first attack as we listen in.
하고 바티 할까 이거? 완전 맞점이야. 얘 딜러가 안 보여.
애쉬였어 일단. 애쉬.
가는 중.
이거 나 사이드 깔짝 도와줄게. 맞춰서
트레 같은데? 왼쪽 갈게. 민기 형. 트레야 이거 트레. 기다려 스킬 한번 채울게. 형 가자. 앞에 한번 가자. 버스 장티. 민기 한번 볼게.
왼쪽 갈게. 왼쪽 갈게.
애쉬도 오나?
민경 나랑 하나 둘 셋
힐터를 깼어. 힐터를 깼어.
애쉬 반피.
애쉬. 일리아리 반피.
애쉬 불터.
다이너 뺐어. 힐 좀 줄게 이거.
야나 땡긴다.
힐인데. 거기 안돼 거기 안돼. 돌 뺐어. 치마 쳐줄게 치마 쳐줄게. 일리아 패. 아 까비. 치마 반.
트레원. 패션 바티원.
파티 필. 까비 나 포스 없어 세훈이 형.
나 정면 갈게. 애쉬 한 피?
형 이거 애쉬 정면 다 간다.
야 이거 애쉬는 정면 와.
애쉬 한 번씩만 노리고 그냥 가.
너 가면은 양가 잡혀서 못 들어.
아 까비.
한테 치래라.
좀 빡셌어 또. 아니야 이겨. 싸울 싸움 이겨. 어차피 팔아라. 두 명만 이겨.
All right, so some minor insights there for those of you who speak Korean, saying, let's go ahead, take that left side, 3, 2, 1, let's go for the peak, but unable to find those crucial picks that they were looking for.
Yeah, a couple of Ash low comms there coming through as well, Flora, but just couldn't quite get the final couple of shots, and you really need to get Merit down here because now the ultimate's starting to come on through. Finn instantly dies, and it's RuPaul with the window.
A solid setup, just getting rid of that target there, and I mean, this is similar scenes to kind of what we were seeing on Circuit Royale, which is why I kind of mentioned it at the top of this map. Do we just see another dominant hold? It was just that pick after pick, being willing to just cycle an ultimate, find 1-2 kills off the back of it, and then maintain the hold that really got the win for Toronto.
And this is another reason why Ultra probably want to get rid of the Winston, because you want to force Bernard in, knowing that the Sigma matchup is likely, and you already won the Sigma matchup on Circuit, like you said. For Zeta Division, they want to play the Pharah here. That's why the Widowmaker's gone. You don't want Merit challenging for it on that, but you don't want Alfie shut down either. First Captive Sun. No real vision here from Violet. Can't see much.
He lobs it in, but I think it might have been avoided. Hard to tell either way. Vega now going to be opening up with one of his own. Can have Grasp already going to be used. Lobs it to the back. Finds Violet immediately with the help of the bomb. Pick up coming through. Now the Flux invested. Bernard dead in mid-air. They get the Captive Sun, they get that Amp Matrix, and they continue to get this hold.
It's a double flex support ultimate that doesn't do much for Zeta Division. However, Ultra spent more, so we look at the economy, it's still good for Zeta Division. They need to make sure this next push is excellent. You still have the capability where someone can shut down the Flux if Bernard eats a rock. Flora has this bomb available as well for that touch, so Toronto Ultra, they have to get a pick here. They don't have anything to use, but they do have the capability for Vega and Merit to find that shot.
Solid poke damage coming through on the approach. Bernard going to be needing to have a very clean Flux, not get shut down out of this one. There's the bomb, the charge, and Vega going to get pinched. Bernard able to find the opening kill. That's a solid first step here, but they still need to make their way over onto the point.
Not enough kills. That's not enough kills. You need to see more from Zeta. What is the Flux going to do here?
Looking for the pickup. Is the Accretion going to go wide? The drop down. Someone does have that Immortality Field waiting for him. The barrier to come through to try to keep himself protected, but the drop down is looking solid, and he will eventually crumble under the pressure. Alpha Yi trying to go up over the top and get the punish here, but RuPaul does find that kill. Quickly traded out as Violet, able to answer one back. Finn down low. Immortality comes through. Vega caught up. That's going to be the tank now. The supports as well. Dead on the side of Toronto Ultra. Can they go for a retake?
No,
I don't think they can.
Now, Vega's still got a long respawn here. You don't have the ultimates to play through. Honestly, Ultra slowed down Zeta enough. They got 2 ultimates out of Zeta for that push, which was very favorable for Zeta given the economy. So here we go. The Sig matchup looking slightly better for Zeta now compared to Circuit Royale. It's going to be an early death onto Violet, but that's fine. Still early stages here for B.
Dead off the rip. Sugar Free just playing elusively. That pulse bomb nearly ready to go. But given the time buying, I mean, how often have we seen the clock really run down on this map? The cap on B is very much not assured here for Zeta.
Yeah, 230 is what you get for capping A, so we're down to 230 already with Merit killing Violet. It's more reset here for Zeta. The first death on Violet was okay. The second one, not particularly, but it is a 1-for-1 trade.
Recall out. Sugar Free right back up into the face of the Sigma, though, trying to dash out. We'll be able to receive some healing.
Oh, RuPaul went on a big flank.
Oh my god, yeah, he's in around the backhand side. And this could be quite costly. Sugar Free gets hounded down. Merit dead moments before. And I think that this has been a bit overcooked here from the side of Toronto Ultra.
Yeah, possibly someone is going to have a slow death here. In fact, they're going to extend this one. They're trying to stagger the Sigma. Alpha nearly paid for it with his life, but even if Alpha dies, it's low value because it's a trace. He'll come back really quickly. So Ultra bit off a bit more than they can choose. Someone and RuPaul going for big plays towards the Zeta spawn. Meanwhile, Zeta were actually winning the fight in the front, and then the slow cleanup. Ultra, at least they still have ultimates, but they don't have space, and they don't have Sugar Free.
He just got evaporated. Must have been a headshot from Violet, perhaps. Now, Captive Sun going to be traded out here on both sides, but someone gets to eat. Violet's denied away. Mortality Field to try to keep them alive for a little bit longer, but Bernard, Finn, both taken low, both taken down. Someone finding the one, Merit with the other. Violet now at risk, just trying to make his exit. Don't think he's going to be allowed to.
It's multiple times now that Toronto Ultra just have better Captive Sun usage. I mean, Violet had his one here eaten away, but even on A, you know, the Captive Sun exchange goes the way of Vega, and Violet doesn't really find anybody. Vision is low. Toronto Ultra just peel away from it so excellently. So despite the blunder there from Ultra, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, time is now bad for Zeta Division as momentum shifts. High ground controlled by Toronto Ultra. They have got ultimates coming online. Zeta Division still have ultimates to play through, but they have to push into Ultra here first. So I have to burn some ultimates.
Looks to open, pick up onto one, the drop down. Immortality field there to greet his pulse bomb from Alpha E, going to be going wide here into the back lines. Pulse bomb lobbed in, stick going to be found. Flora taken down. Sugar Free, I don't even think he quite saw his target, but he still managed to find it.
He needed that. He really needed that one because ZETA Division were about to slam in with some big ultimates. Bob and Flux online. And if Sugar Free doesn't get a kill like that, this is probably high ground and maybe cap threatened. So now with the reset, ZETA Division have to spend a little bit more time climbing back the hill, and RuPaul nearly onto the ultimate. It buys time for Toronto Ultra once again to get support ultimates, which I think have been mostly better used than ZETA, as time is about to run out as well.
Time dwindling. The touch there. Finn dead, though, immediately. Amp Matrix through, and it's all coming just to a conclusion here now as I lose my words. Flora with the Bob will be able to find Merit. The cleanup continues, however. Sugar Free gets rid of Alpha Yi. Bernard desperately trying to fight back, but he's basically all on his lonesome. And the cart will make it just about to the top of the ramp.
I mean, that was so clutch from Sugar Free again. If he doesn't find that pulse bomb, momentum is so high for ZETA Division. They already have good positioning. They already have good ultimates on board. And you needed to buy time for your supports because once the support ultimates come online, guess what? RuPaul pulls through the window, Finn dies instantly, doesn't even get to use his own Amp Matrix in response. So that's a gigantic win on that defense for Sugar Free and the Toronto Ultra. And let's talk about A as well, because A is where all the time was lost. B started to become a little bit better for ZETA Division, but because they basically only had, what, less than 3 minutes to really play through, yeah, I mean, it was limited. I don't think they really had enough momentum to finish the entire map, and if they were going to finish the entire map, you cannot allow a situation where you lose momentum to a single pulse bomb, which again was well read, because you also did see Finn drop down that lamp, drop down the drone, and Sugar Free says, that's my opportunity.
Yeah, and absolutely took it, but it was looking a little bit suspect at the beginning of that, B stretch defense, that big over-aggression from the side of Toronto Ultra. I thought that this was it. They've absolutely burnt this defense, and then that was going to allow for ZETA Division to get themselves back in. But really good mentality being put on display here from the side of Toronto Ultra, being able to just shrug that off, say, okay, we still have this, let's reestablish an alt lead, let's establish a foothold.
You do see a lot coming through from Violet here, and actually I want to watch Alpha Yi in action because he also needs to be able to make this fire work. Let's see if Toronto Ultra can deal with him.
Ash, Sigma. Alari left. Fair playing left side. I'll go right. Here they go. Alari literally close, really close left side. Back here. Yeah, I'm gonna take right side. Yeah, Alari's peeking far left. He can, I'm gonna take right side.
I can.
Yeah.
3, 2, pick me in.
Camera lock.
시간.
I'm behind.
노 다이너마.
Yeah. Ash looking at me right now. Ash shift. He's just looking at me.
시간.
Okay. I'm inside right now.
Yeah. When Lenny can set up.
Yeah, I'm set up. They're pushing me. Key one. Walk.
shoot.
Fair low.
시간.
I have angle. Here's that. I slow. Back.
위치.
I think this fight, let's get him left.
Yeah, I'm gonna go left.
Okay.
We chilling main, okay?
Their L'Oreal is gonna be really soon. Save your shift.
I'm ready to make mine.
I think my window a little bit fast.
Yeah. I can shoot. 3, 2, okay, shoot. shoot.
Fair low. Back here, no shield.
What's that left?
Fair inside here.
I'm going to
Yeah.
maybe.
Nope. No, you poked.
Sigma.
I can window. Yeah, ready.
Alrighty, well, so far held at bay here are Toronto Ultras in a division doing a good job of running down the clock. Nearly half the time, they're going to be eliminated. Merit able to find one as Flora will fall, but it's going to be a trade out here on the Ashes as Alpha Yi finds his mark.
Finn still holding on to ultimate, still ready to pounce with that, and Alpha Yi, he's been a problem. Has a barrage nearly available, nearly died there, but still alive. Captures some from Violet. This one needs to hit.
Sending it, and it does. Catches that immortality field, but Violet able to find the neutral kill onto Vega all the same. Someone now crumbling, and ZETA Division looking immovable so far here on this defense. Precious time being wasted from the side of Toronto.
It's a huge confidence boost for ZETA Division, who lost Circuit Rail. Now they're winning the Sigma matchup, and they want to be able to hold this on A because there's not that much distance required on B. Toronto Ultra have a lot to play through. If they can just get to B, they can have a really good chance of winning this map. I think Alpha Yi has actually been a bit of a huge problem here. Sugar Free can't get any flanks. What was the first kill? It was Sugar Free flanking, and Alpha Yi shutting him down.
Well, now Down below a minute and a half remaining. Full bomb, Bob, the flux nearly there. Bob to open things up as the dynamite flies. Merit looking to try to open things up, and Finn is completely caught between a rock and a hard place. He will get taken down. Bernard pulls the trigger on that flux. He had no HP. ZETA Division, they let this defense get away from them.
Just a big flank from Merit. I mean, he goes through train. That's where Finn was going to be hiding. I mean, ZETA Division have players on that high ground, and it initially looked like a weird ball, but it goes directly into Finn's face. He had no idea it was going to come and hit him. Bernard tries to save the day on the flux, but ends up just dying for it. So we talk about the fact that, honestly, ZETA initially at least had good marking. They saw, you know, Vega trying to play the flank, marking Sugar Free with Alpha E as well, but no one expected that Merit was just going to flank through the train, and Finn caught with his pants down.
Yeah, I mean, just got stuck on the far side of the Bob, couldn't get his way out of there, and then Bernard, a puzzling use of the flux there, to say the least. Is Alpha E going to be taken down? Sugar Free finding the opening there. Captive Sun locked in, gets the connection. Has to be a bit of a drop back here as Finn taken low, surviving for now. As the burst will not kill. Immortality Field had to be used. Violent similarly suffering quite a bit of damage here as Dynamite greets Vega as they work their way up onto the high ground, but this is firmly, for the moment at least, in control of Toronto Ultra. That being said, Flora answering back, having a different idea. Finds a headshot, Merit going to be taken down. Vega cannot survive as Flora collects his second. Alpha E playing point blank, has that barrage, but also can hold on to it, just putting rockets right into the top of heads.
Really well economically played there as well. Only the Bob required. Violet had the opportunity to go for the Captain Sun, but they knew they had the advantage there. Bob on the high ground, pushing players back, and with the initial kill, they can drag the fight down into the underpass. Payload is getting closer. This is the danger that I was talking about. Once Toronto Ultra get this A cap, they're so close to capping B. They only need one good fight. One mistake from ZETA Division can cost them this map.
Violet starting things off though, shutting down this next volley. Sugar Free will fall. More time for Bernard to build up that next flux, the match against someone who's had this in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Finn to get that Amp Matrix online. It's going to be a double support advantage here for ZETA Division as they look to continue this.
I mean, all of this delay is important for all the reasons you listed, because ZETA Division, they spent ultimates, they need a little bit more now. Merit looking over towards the Bob as well. Bob in the underpass directly in the payload could be problematic. So ZETA Division, they need options. I'm also looking at Violet because the Captain Sun, so far, mostly going the way of Vega. Violet needs more excellent Captain Sun that can swing the fight.
Merit again, though, looking for a flank opportunity, perhaps.
He wants the high ground Bob, maybe.
The side room, yeah. The Bob at the ready, going to be sent through. Flux now out here from someone.
Alpha caught.
Alpha E, he gets caught by that, and Finn going to be taken down. Violet, since the Captain Sun does manage to find one from beyond the grave. So far, 2 for 2, but it's both supports here. Eliminated
Giant
on the
rock.
side, and now, yep, the accretion at range. Someone able to find the kill. Bernard taken down, and they only needed a couple more centimeters to make it happen. Toronto Ultra meant to fight for this, or made to fight for this one here. Do not get it nearly as easily as they did on Circuit Royale, but they once again have the series lead.
Just didn't have the initiation there from the side of ZETA Division at the end. I mean, still ultimates yet to be played through. I think the two members, Violet and Bernard, didn't really get to use ultimates before they went down. Alfie being caught by the flux is absolutely gigantic, but really it comes down to both Finn and Violet dying first. RuPaul still lives. It's a 3v3 Achilles, but still healing for Toronto. No healing for ZETA. Alfie on low HP, can't really contest, and the payload just doesn't need to go that far, even if ZETA Division, look, if they had a longer defensive distance with a better attack, maybe they could have reset there, you know? But the issue is their attacking side was just too weak, and they needed way more time burned on A defense. It was a good A defense from ZETA Division, but unfortunately, one good flank from Merit cost them that defense, and you have to praise Merit for that. You have to praise Toronto for the creativity.
I mean, Merit has been a thorn in their side, but Toronto once again in the lead now with match point. Can they close it out? Let's send it down to the analysts and find out.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and excellent work here by Toronto at the very end. They're able to get the job done. McGravy, what was the difference maker between the two attacks?
I think the absolute difference was Sugar Free on the Tracer and Alfie on the Pharah. The Pharah is really good at denying those small chokes and those slow approaches, but Sugar Free was using his speed and getting to the back line to help open up their attack.
Matt, were you worried about a full hold at all there?
It looked like ZETA was almost going to pull it together, right? They were starting to look pretty good, but that's because you see how strong that Pharah is in that choke, right? Midtown has that like one central choke at the beginning, very difficult to get through. Once Toronto got through that, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, the game-breaking play there was Merit flanking through a part of the map you don't usually utilize, which is that top train. The flank bob here, as you see on the highlight, this was absolutely huge. Got the lamp, got the window, got just about everything while getting the kills. This was, I would say, the play of the game for that map.
I love watching Illari versus, or you have Vega versus Violet on that Illari, I should say, the 2Vs. So Matt, who had the stronger game when it comes to the support line?
I think they were about even. I think it's really Merit, the one that kind of like turns the tides in this series. And I wonder, like, look, both teams want to play Ashe. Ashe very good right now. I do wonder, like, eventually, like, okay, let's just get rid of it just because he's so good on it. Force him to play something else, right? And take your chances.
Well, maybe now is the time to do that because ZETA Division will have control once again. Let's take a look as all 5 game modes open back up. Cool. Do you take the control? Do you, I guess, see that potentially coming into a game 7, or are you go into a hybrid escort push flashpoint?
I think potentially this is going to Ilios. I think I might be calling my shot here. Yeah, I think we could potentially see a ban on the hit scan. I think if you're ZETA Division, I'm looking maybe towards a double flex approach because that's not what Toronto's known for. If you can take Merit off of that comfort pick and the hit scan, make him play something else. Maybe make him play that Tracer and swap up the roles. Maybe they could get an advantage here.
You could even potentially go Hollywood and play like some more like traditional dive style comps, right? See Fearless come in, play the Winston, so good on the high ground, right? I know playing those different types of positions on Hollywood. So like there's a few different options in the pool here. I know I probably think it's like a control. Would you even consider Eichenwald? I mean, I don't know.
I think if you're gonna pick a hybrid, I think it's like you said, you pick the Hollywood, you take it to a comfort, you put Fearless, the best Winston in the world, probably the best Winston in the game to ever play, and you take him there.
Will I get to see Dorado this weekend?
I was actually gonna say Dorado's a complete wild card. You can play Winston, but then also if you're really that worried about the Widowmaker, like that is one where Merit can definitely play that.
I was talking about earlier about teams and players not liking maps, and I think Dorado just kind of falls within that category. I feel like for them, they feel like it's just too much of a coin flip, but
yeah,
did Puckett call the map,
Dorado?
Did I just call the map?
Let's go.
I was asking questions, let's be fair. All right, we are going to Dorado. I remember this from day 1 in Overwatch, so what can we expect? We have not seen it here at the Esports World Cup, at least not in the Kadia Arena.
Here's an interesting kind of like look potentially on it. Do you ban the Ashe to force the Widow and then play Winston? Because the Winston was banned, I think, earlier by Toronto, so they can't get rid of the Winston again.
Right?
That could be quite interesting.
Yeah, the Winston Widow matchup is kind of interesting because it's so much of a jostle for position. It's not exactly a pressure to a counter to a Widow, but it does apply pressure to Merit. It does make him play something that's been a little bit different from this series because, like we said, Merit's pick rate on Ashe is it's probably skyrocketing even now. It's probably 97 to 98% at this point. He doesn't switch it up a ton, so maybe you just make him play the Widow to think a little differently, to get him outside of the box.
Guess what's happening?
What's happening?
ZETA's bringing in a sub. You want to see who it is?
Fearless.
I have a feeling this Winston's coming out, my friend.
Yeah, I mean
it's time to party.
Yeah, because it was banned, I believe, earlier by Toronto, so they can't get rid of it again. So now you're free to kind of play dive, which is like, it would have been Dorado, would have been like an Ilios, like you were talking about, right? So seeing Fearless come in here, not all too surprising.
Yeah, I think potentially from Toronto's side, if you can't target the Ana with the Ana ban, you maybe potentially take away the break. You make them, you make them play that double flex style that's been shown before, and Toronto's had success on it before.
Alpha Yi's Pharah was already banned earlier in the tournament, so I don't expect it to happen in this match once again. So Matt, do we see more Pharah play from Alpha Yi? If so, is it all on Merit's shoulders to shut it down?
Potentially. I could actually see like an Echo here even as well, because like we haven't really discussed like a ban on Tracer, right? But Dorado has historically not been a very good map for Tracer. A lot of like verticality in that second part of the map, so it can be very difficult to run the Tracer. Like even Genji comes into play here potentially.
We did see Sugar Free flex over to the Pharah on Midtown yesterday. Is there a chance if Tracer gets banned that he pulls out that hero? If not, what else do you expect from Sugar Free in particular?
You can play the Genji. You can play Genji, you can play Echo. Sugar Free pretty flexible in terms of like some of those projectile characters, so I would expect one of those.
Yeah, I think I would expect the Echo. I think that's just kind of the style. I think he prefers that over the Pharah anyways. I think that's just something he prefers to play, so if you bound out the Pharah, I think he's completely happy to play the Echo.
Toronto Ultra boot camping in Korea getting ready for this one, facing off against ZETA Division, the third best team in Korea according to our standings coming in. And Crazy Raccoon waiting to find out who they will play in the grand finals. Can Toronto Ultra close it out, or are we going to that map 7?
This is really close. Someone is also known for his Winston. I think this is about as 50-50 of a map as you're gonna get.
Well, I think we've just flip-flopped the entire time. I think whoever's actually ended up picking the map and getting first ban has won it. So that would tell you we are gonna see a 7.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's shoot some piñatas. Let's get into the arena and kick up some noise. We've got the fans being rowdy already. This is arguably the best match we've seen, and we already had a fantastic semifinal, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the closest, most competitive match we've seen, really, since the group stages, quite frankly. I mean, a lot of the matches here through the playoffs have been pretty one-sided. I'd also have to say, whoever wins this, they have a turnaround then against Crazy Raccoon. It's going to be tough.
Reminder, huge opportunity for Toronto Ultra to earn some club championship points. Same thing for ZETA Division, but with Ultra already secured for Call of Duty later in the Esports World Cup, they're really pulling for their Overwatch team. Let's take a look here at Dorado and which heroes are going to be banned. ZETA Division gets the map pick. They also get to decide who's going to ban first. And I have a feeling they are going to be the first ones to the stage.
Yeah, with Fearless in, it may actually lead you to believe that, the tank category is not touched, or it's like a diva potentially gone. So there's the Illari right off the bat.
Yeah, showing a lot of respect to Vega. I think they said, we've had enough. We haven't really gained an advantage playing Violet.
They get rid of the Ash.
Take it, Merritt. All right, they feel he's going to be able to flex over to Widow. What else does Merritt play? Just Cassidy? Is he only a hit scan guy?
He's not only a hit scan guy, but that is absolutely where his bread is buttered for sure. I think you're just going to see the Widowmaker from him here. Potentially at the third point, a Cassidy?
What does that mean for Flora on the other end as we take a look at the tank showdown, Fearless versus someone?
Flora, he can play some of the Tracer, right? You can have him and Alfie are pretty interchangeable on that, and then also can play some of those hit scans as well. I think it might actually be Ultra saying that the Widow gap is really large between these two, and maybe that's what they want to try and do. Because outside of that, I mean, we haven't seen Sojourn really hasn't been played a ton at this event. It's really just Cassidy, Ash, and then some Widow.
$1 million prize pool, $400,000 to first. You are guaranteed $160K if you win this match. Let's send it up to Achilleos and Avril one more time.
Well, it might not be just the one more time here, Puckett. We could very well have you send it back up to us if ZETA can get the victory here on Dorado, bring us back to parity, and extend this into a 7th and final map. Dorado, something that we have not really been seeing at all here in the tournament. I believe once over on the B stream, as you and I were just discussing, Avril. Now we have it here on the main stage in this semifinal, but is it going to be good enough for ZETA to get the win?
It's the least pick escort map so far in the entire tournament, and I think it requires basically a map 6, map 7 to go there. I think the Illari ban, basically, like McGravy says, we get rid of finally Vega. That is the target ban. ZETA Division had been kind of suffering against Illari for a long time, but more important than that, the Ash ban, getting rid of Alpha Yee's pick here, forcing him into the Widowmaker. What does that say? That they want Merritt into Flora rather, but it's actually going to be Alpha Yee playing the Widowmaker. So ZETA Division, they're just going to run from that. They don't want Flora on this Widow matchup. So honestly, that's a fantastic ban. You've just nerfed Flora so much.
Now Finn going to be taken down off the rip here. It's the cheeky little attempt on the Mercy boosted Widow shot, not going to come to fruition. Only thing they were able to spot was Vega's shield on that Brig. So someone now occupying the high ground here alongside Sugar Free. Dive across there from Fearless is Alfie going to try to displace him. Someone going to be dropping down, dropping low here at half health. Needs to get some heals coming through. It looks like RuPaul will be able to hook him up.
And honestly, Flora's been in a similar situation to Merritt so far, and that was an unlucky timing of the recall because the Byronade lands in and you need your Tracer into play as well. What I was going to say is that Flora hasn't found much success on the Tracer so far this tournament, and because he doesn't want to play the Widowmaker into Merritt, this is now an unfortunate situation composition-wise. ZETA need a lot of value between Alfie and Flora on this dive. Fearless, we know how good he is on the Winston, but they've already lost a dive mirror earlier today to Toronto Ultra.
A lot of damage here, forcing the Widowmaker down off that high ground. Drops off the arch. Shot, though, found as Alpha Yee eliminated. Solid headshot there. Brief little heartbeat sleep onto Fearless. Instantly going to be woken up as Merit back up into the sky, seeking a little bit more. Softens up Finn, someone collects the kill, and he can continue to push forward, because even if he did get into a bad situation, he has that primal rage.
I mean, as long as Merit is hitting shots, if he's on point, ZETA Division have such a difficult job to get ahead. And beyond that as well, they're also now losing on ultimates. RuPaul ahead of Finn, someone well ahead of Fearless. So once push comes to shove, and ZETA Division actually go towards a threatening of the cap onto A, someone can buy so much time on that primal, and you still need to see a situation where something needs to be able to challenge on towards Merit. And you know what? Merit was actually thinking there could be a flank there. So Infrasight coming through.
That beam going to be coming in here. Alpha Yi unable to find that execute fast enough, and Alpha Yi is playing around with fire as Merit puts him down low on health. Someone at the same time able to cleave down Finn. Fearless around the back here, trading places with Toronto Ultra, but ultimately is going to be met with sleep once more and taken down by someone. Sugar Free will end up falling. Alpha E able to find a parting gift kill there with the sticky bombs, but ultimately ZETA still held at bay, and now just 1 minute and 35 remaining.
Yeah, it's unlikely that kill will be impactful. Sugar Free triple blinking back towards the point, but look at this. Alpha E with the flank. This time no Infrasight. However, if you're smart, if you're Ultra, you should know the flank is coming, because you don't see the echo.
Now he set up for the poison trap, but it's not going to get the trigger there. Dupe now going to be in play. Alpha E going for a copy here on the Ana. Adds another one into the mix. Rally rolling from Violet, now going to be expiring, but kills not found. Space given up. It's just a big pullback here from Toronto.
I mean, you're copying the Ana because you're trying to go for a Bionade, and obviously nothing landed between the two Anas. No Binos until now. Okay, getting aggressive. Merit should die here. 1 HP.
1 HP. Alfie eventually able to find it. Vega as well at the same time going to be taken down. RuPaul falling, and now someone without that primal, not going to have any staying power, will just get cleaned up. The ZETA Division, it does not end here for them on Dorado. They will get that push. They will get that bump up, but it was still good time buying overall from Toronto.
Now Merit still obviously going to keep playing the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker is not going to end until we get to C, so that is the goal for ZETA. Once we go to C, as a Disc J, probably going to move over towards the Cassidy, and that might give Flora the opportunity to play something we can match up against Merit. But for now, Merit will keep on sniping, and ZETA Division will keep getting their heads popped.
I mean, everybody just contesting over here onto that high ground. Merit comes out of bank, finds that headshot, now gets himself situated. Looking for some death from above. Another Infrasight nearly online. And someone just jumping back up top to keep things protected.
You have the Trace on the ground there for Sugar Free as well, just contesting the payload. So even if ZETA Division just want to play an objective game, it's still difficult. Half of them to push onto the high ground without ultimates. Half of them to push the payload along here as well. Infrasight now out. ZETA Division have no choice but to respect it.
Yeah, just backing away. Nothing really more that Alpha can do here. Just trying to clear some players out from around the card itself. It's Merit pushing low. They know that they have Violet completely isolated. It's going to be a very easy setup with the kill. Cart is inching forward here, though, for the side of ZETA, so not allowing for themselves to get completely down and out off the back of that pick, as Merit playing up close against Alpha E. It's a little bit of damage there from the stickies, but we'll go ahead and get healed back up.
If ZETA do not cap B, then they don't really have a shot at winning this map, because on the attacking side, Ultra going to do the same thing with the Widowmaker. Fearless going in deep now. Does he go for the Widowmaker? Yes, she gets slept.
Sleep Dart connects, and that's going to be them trying to just wait this one out. Wake Up does come through, but it's a rude awakening. Does have that anti-across. Merit getting smacked around a little bit here, but ultimately Fearless unable to find much with that primal. Cart still does advance forward, though, and it's getting closer and closer to the finish line of B.
You need Finn to get Nano.
Yep, Nano now going to be coming through. Finn, the target, but will survive. No, Sugar Free gets the pulse bomb with the perfect opportunity, but a trade back comes through. A support for a tank. Finn can rejoin and have that Nano online as Violet keeps everybody else alive with the rally.
Still a dupe here as well. Allows Alfie to get aggressive as long as he doesn't get sniped out. That is the risk here. Merit wants to go for it. Alfie doesn't want to take the chance. Double traces now. Fearless on top of Merit is huge.
And Merit given his life to try to get that pick, but cannot. Alfie with the dupe on the Tracer gives him a bit more staying power. The pulse bomb already going to be built up. Dashes forward, looks for the kill. RuPaul able to avoid that one. The break on the dupe coming through. Alfie back here into the Echo Formant is immediately gifted that Nano. And he shuts down Sugar Free, shuts down Vega, gets RuPaul. A triple kill here for the Echo. You mentioned it, they've got it. The cap on B comes through, and it's going to be 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
And a spawn kill to Merit. Like I said, it was going to go over towards the Cassidy. Now ZETA Division have a really good shot. They got past the difficult part of the map. They defeated the Widowmaker finally. Cost them a lot of time. Whatever distance they get now is the distance required to force themselves into a situation where they can actually win the game. Again, A and B, Toronto Ultra probably have the advantage when they go on the attack again. ZETA Division, can they actually finish the map here? Primal coming online very soon, but not much else to play through.
Even then, someone still 35% away, can build it up rapidly, but has to be able to get in on top of this back line. Nano maybe to try to escort him forward as RuPaul Tries to build that one up. 25% remaining towards it. Violent tag down low. Still under some duress, but ultimately will be able to survive. As Merit gonna be picked off. Pulse bomb out from Flora. Will be taking a quick little nap here. Shut down as someone finds a kill, but Vega gonna be the cost. And that is a trade that you happily take here if you're ZETA Division as they try to continue this one. The payload keeps moving forward. A minute and 20 seconds remaining. It's on the final stretch. Someone taken down. The beam to shut him out before the problem can come through. He needs to respawn right here, right now for Toronto Ultra. But Sugar Free dead means that the contest, it's likely not going to be there. Vega zapped, eliminated the push forward. It's just body after body spilling forward here onto the cart. But they cannot buy enough time for someone to re-arrive.
Finn doing God's work on the final push there. That could have been really dangerous. Flora slept there initially 4v5, but he's a tracer. Comes back quickly. Someone at 99% moving over towards a primal. ETA sleep dart cannot primal to save the point, and we have a map completion with time, Achilleos. That's really, really good for ZETA Division because they need C. C is so important. They struggled on AMP, so this is where they can actually find a win on this map.
I mean, and just that steady stream forward on B is what really kind of allows us that, and just the back-breaking performance from them to be able to get to the finishing of the map. Because, I mean, to get to the end, they completed with just about as much time as they had roughly when they completed
They actually didn't get reset on C. It was a one push from start to finish. Cap B instant, well, not instantly, but with a single push all the way through. They cap C, and guess what? Merit swapping over to the castle. He died like 2 times in a row. He respawns after dying a Widowmaker, dies as the 6th man, so to speak, upon respawn, and then he was the first pick by Flora when the neutral came underway. So, no impact from the Cassie, from Merit on that C point. He had all the impact on the Widowmaker for A and B and just was missing on C.
Toronto now, their work cut out for them here. No win condition achieved, so we'll have to take it to extra innings if they want to close out this series in 4-2 fashion.
I'll tell you what, Echo is really good on rooftops here. Early A rooftops, Echo is fantastic. Once you lose rooftops, you go towards the, open square. Alfie might struggle just that much. Merit is not even going to snipe out of spawn. He's just going to go straight towards the Cassie. I think once maybe they get through the archway, Merit can then look for a swap again.
Mace to the face. That little clang there, but someone not too worse for wear. Drops down, but that anti, that would certainly make things worse for him. Does manage to jump out, keeps himself alive.
It's going to give RuPaul a lot of ult charge though because they don't get the cleanup. Finn initially was ahead, now RuPaul has caught up just on that damage and the healing alone. The payload is slow moving for now. Flora doing a good job just contesting. That's the Tracer's job, that's what you need to do. As it's going to be Toronto Ultra taking the long flank around up the stairs, going to try and challenge this high ground. They got Merit up there. They got Vega up here as well.
Again. Yep, Bio coming through. Finn just absolutely nailing him with it. And his double anti does come across, but damage can't be found onto those targets. Flora will get taken out as Sugar Free finds that elimination. And now Alfie gone. Wow. Sugar Free starting to take over a little bit. Merit on a way too far forward push, though, will get punished. Fearless going to be slapped, antied out, still hovering around half HP as Nano's going to go over to Violent to try to keep him alive, maybe get the rally online, but this is not working out here for the side of ZETA Division.
I mean, that was all Sugar Free. Double kill on the ground. Flora down as well. It means you can start payload pushing. And Sugar Free still going. Still getting kills. Violet got Nano, but Vega also got Nano as well. And there's no rally here because he knows he doesn't have the teammates. If it wasn't for Sugar Free on the double, this would have been a ZETA hold still.
Yeah, I think pretty much collectively killing off just about everybody.
Fearless 98!
Fights, and now he's got the pulse bomb, and Fearless dead before the primal can come through. Sugar Free, where has this been? This guy is starting to absolutely dismantle ZETA, ripping them limb from limb. The count on 8 comes in. It's 4.5 minutes for the next stretch. ZETA Division starting things off, looking really good on that A defense, but Sugar Free has taken over.
I'll tell you what, this guy has been definitely getting hot on the mic with a smack talk, but he's got the gameplay to back it up, and honestly, throughout the entire tournament, Sugar Free has been lights out, one of the most important players for the Toronto Ultra, proving it once again now. The value is there. ZETA Division wanted a lot more time buying on B, and they did not get it.
Maybe an aggro push here around the corner, but no, Alpha E on the quick peek out. And spots the positions, forces them back down to the low ground. Dupe about to be online. Fearless playing forward, keeps it contested. It's a bit of damage, just trying to feed Finn up towards that next Nano. There's Flora. Ooh. Love to try to find a kill here, but Toronto.
Someone low HP here.
Pushing forward here as Deadeye's going to be popped from Merit.
It doesn't seem much, though. This is just some, you know,
zoning.
Space buying, some zoning. But a shot into Violet Shield there. ZETA sitting on 5 ultimates in an excellent position. The difficulty here is Merit's on a Cassie. You can't take high ground with the rest of the team.
Okay, Primal has to be popped here by someone. Pressured out. Nano is available here on the back end of that one, should they need it. Just continuing to try to inch this one forward. Ante on the 2. Vega getting tagged up. Nice little whip shot there, keeps Fearless at distance. Sleep coming in. Flora looking for a pulse bomb setup, cannot find it. Target not going to be found, but Fearless does manage to find RuPaul woken up with that Nano here in play. Merit has one on the opposite side, the Electric Cowboy coming through, is able to find one, but still needs a lot more than that. Sugar Free takes out Alpha E, takes out Violet. Can he do it again?
1v2, he needs to do a lot here, has to take down support first.
But Finn will shut him down this time around, gets his revenge. The cart now halted.
I mean, the payload positioning is good, though. Despite all of that, Toronto Ultra can now open up the map a little bit more, allow Merit to try and take the high ground. So the biggest issue here is, because Merit is on the cast instead of the Widowmaker, they're just struggling to be able to aggress on the high ground at all, and the dives, the Bionades, Finn just sitting on top of the bridge, lobbing in these Bionades have been so effective. But like I said, because the payload has moved up, they've opened up the map. Now Toronto Ultra go on the big flank, take the opposite high ground, and finally they can start playing the game a little bit more.
Some decent shots across here as we completely split the teams across the map. The push down from Sugar Free and someone trying to grab that cart and start dragging it away from Zeta Division's position. They get a little bit of distance here, but as the fight gets ready to break out, let's go ahead and hear from Toronto.
Yeah. She didn't break. Continuing point.
Done in. Minus 3 seconds. But my ankle's so good, Ham. My car. Take it. Focus try. Focus try.
Yeah, shooting try. Nice.
Big nade. Break one.
Oh, no. Nice, super part.
Big it show. Monkey see.
Copy us.
Come monkey.
Cool. Mark on. Nice.
Alright.
Copy, rally.
Nano
Primal pulse.
Nano Primal.
I can press and we can walking.
Nano cast. Wait, push guard first.
They're not here. We can make each other.
Oh, we need to touch
I'm gonna focus enemy echo, okay?
Okay.
And the fight victory going the way of Toronto, keeping this competitive. 1 minute and 7 seconds of time to beat. They've got 240 to try to make it happen.
So Nano available. Finn didn't get to use that on the B fight, but the ultimates are basically even at this stage. Fearless still 4% away. Someone very low has to Primal just to live.
He Primals, but he's immediately right back into the back line, trying to get an isolation pick here onto Violet. Deadeye popped from Merit, seeking target, just going to be softening up that Primal's Fearless there for a bit, but then peeks up into the sky, finds Alpha E for his trouble. Echo taken down, Pulse Bomb going to be going wide. Sugar Free, however, still a bit of a menace. Sleep Dart connecting here onto Merit, but can they collect the elimination? The answer is going to be no. He steps up, finds a flashbang into Fearless's face. The cart continuing to push forward. RuPaul finds Flora. 2 members now dead. The rest corralled back, contained within the spawn room doors.
Can they touch?
They're going to have to try for it. Merit will fall. Alpha E coming up with that, but he's down to a sliver. Fearless rejoins as the shield bash comes across Vega with the rally. Will help shut it down. Recall out from Flora, and the cart glides in. It's a damn near 40-second advantage here for the side of Toronto Ultra, but narrow margins all the same.
And you know what the difference was? A slightly faster B take there. It was slow in the beginning. Merit couldn't really do too much, but once you start pushing through the other side of the map, get the payload into the courtyard, suddenly you take the opposite high ground, you get better ult rotations ever so slightly, a couple of picks here or there, you push over towards C, and you still hold momentum. You didn't actually spend that much going into the C. And then you have to talk about this A play again. Sugar Free really opened up the map here. If it wasn't for Sugar Free with a massive multi-kill coming on the A push, I think there would have been a lot less time available for the side of Toronto Ultra. If they do finish the map, they probably finish the map with no time compared to having a 40-second advantage.
A huge rally back here for him, and now still very much anyone's map, but for Toronto, if they can claim this, they claim the semifinal, they claim a spot in the grand final in just a bit of time versus Crazy Raccoon.
This is the interesting thing. Merit's going to start on towards the caster here. Doesn't want to go towards the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker was causing problems for Zeta Division on their initial attack. Zeta are probably expecting it. To be honest with you, the cast is a little bit harder to die, but I think they lose a little bit of the poke power coming on through, and Alpha Yi might feel confident to play into the Pharah once he realizes, he's already locked the Pharah, but once he realizes Merit is on the cast, I think that should open up Alpha Yi a lot.
Gates now opened. Minute And 7 seconds down to that minute now here, Zeta Division. It took them a while to be able to get the cap on A. They need to go and close an immense amount of distance here with much more limited time.
Both teams did a well and truly good job on the A point, but I think Zeta Division had the slight advantage that the A looked just that much better. Can they do it again?
Nearly picked off, but Finn, will end up going down Sugar Free once again. The player to collect. Looking for a little bit more. Flora dashing around, manages to make his way over towards that Mega Pack, but for now the cart going to be stagnating. Alpha Yi out into the back lines, taken down. Violet as well. Further staggers found. Fearless antied. Should be eliminated, and it is as Merit finds a headshot, and for now it's ironclad on the hold here for Ultra.
Yeah, it's going to have to be an OT push for the point, and guess what? The ultimates all go the way of Toronto Ultra. They have all of the caps, they have all the kills so far, all the damage so far. 10 seconds roughly remaining here. RuPaul outpacing Finn by so much, and Violet even on the Zen now. I don't think this is a good idea. He probably needs to go back over towards the Brig.
Need to have the touch. The drop down's there. Fearless keeping it in overtime. As for now, some space going to be opened up. Someone backing away as the Discord orb connects onto him.
RuPaul's still so far ahead.
Ult's so far away here from the side of Zeta Division. Anti on the 2. The back line broken down. Sugar Free able to find Alpha Yi. The pulse bomb stick. Violet annihilated. Sugar Free. This map has been his playground. And Zeta Division, they're the ones with sand kicked into their eyes. Toronto Ultra setting themselves up so critically well for a victory here, for a spot in the grand final. And all it's going to take is a scant few meters.
You have a situation where Flora just can't contest. I mean, he's not as good on the Tracer, but even seeing Alpha Yi being shut down by Sugar Free, I mean, that's unusual. That really shouldn't be happening. But when you look over towards the rooftops and the high ground on Dorado, Alpha Yi, he's got limited skybox. That allows Sugar Free to suddenly make his play in. And this is the situation where so many of the memes, so many of the criticism of Merit being unable to play the Tracer as a hit scan now is applied onto Flora. It's the exact same situation, flipped over to the other side. Sugar Free has been so clutch for Toronto Defiant on this map, but in the series, but also in the tournament as well. And now, off the back of a superior Tracer, might just be sending Toronto Ultra to their first ever grand final.
65.5 meters, the distance to be closed here in overtime. 1:46. Can Zeta Division conquer that 40-second advantage that Toronto was able to gain? Merit at the start at least going to be looking for an opening shot here with that Widowmaker.
See if he stays.
No, will not.
Okay, it's going to be the cast again. Now remember, Zeta had a pretty reasonable defense on A, broken by the fact that Sugar Free completely outplayed the ground. And Toronto Ultra now have to be very careful.
Fearless
playing back into the Alpha Echo, which is so good on rooftops. Good damage to Fearless early on.
Already worked low. The headshots continuing to ring out here as Merit, accurate as ever. Gonna look to reroute, work his way up on towards that high ground. For now, won't really find himself too contested, but will be scattered out. Fearless lob jumping over, and okay, yeah, Anti coming through. They try to collapse, they try to get the peel off, but ultimately this is going to lead to multiple deaths here for the side of Toronto Ultra as RuPaul also falls. A minute now remaining. We're at the starting point for Zeta Division. There hasn't been that much distance closed.
Zeta can't afford to have too many deaths yet because their respawn distance is long and the payload doesn't need to go too far. The payload is in a good enough spot for Zeta to continue defending, but honestly, too many mistakes here. 1 or 2 wrong deaths, especially if Finn or Violet die, that is critical. They'll have to come back on a much faster hero and forgo the ultimate. Speaking of which, this time, Finn, defensive Ana, way further ahead than RuPaul. Similar storylines as to what we saw before. You're going to need to see some heroics out of Ultra again.
Cart, once again, advancing forward. Less than 20 meters left to go. Someone shrugging off those sticky bombs. 61% towards that primal. Pulse advantage to Flora, but ever so slightly here. And Sugar Free looks to get his own online, but the Nano is there for Finn, and that could be everything here for Zeta Division to try to cling on, to try to hold out hope. 14 seconds out remaining. The Nano going to be invested. Fearless looking to jump forward. Bubble's going to be exchanged here.
Not the best Nano engaged. I mean, the Nano's basically gone. This is huge.
The Bio-Nade is absolutely monstrous. They get RuPaul both going to be taken down. Sugar Free sent to the pulse bomb. Nothing found. Merit dead. And my God, I think they've done it. The overtime will bleed away. They had it on a platter, but it's not done yet. Zeta Division, They pull off the defense in overtime, and they take us to our first map 7.
You say on a platter here, but guess what? Finn says revenge is a dish served best on cold or whatever. It doesn't matter at this stage. I'm going to screw it up. It's all right. It doesn't matter. We're going to map 7. He's got his revenge. Dish best served cold. Thank you. You're welcome. Finn, Bionade, humongous. He had the bios on B. He's got the bios on A. If it wasn't for that, it could have been a really rough situation. He had the earlier nano, but it was the Bionade onto the backline that really secured it. Amazing plays there. And this time, Flora holding his own on the Tracer, isn't going to go down to the ground battle. Not a huge sugar-free carry on that ground this time around. He's done so much in this map, so much in this tournament. But when push comes to shove, you have to trust in the fact that an early Echo defense on the A rooftop's extremely good. Fearless on the Winston, still the prime Winston left in this tournament to play through. And like you said, our first map 7 in the EWC now confirmed.
It all comes down to this, and Toronto, of course, will have their map pick for that final map. Let's pass it back down to the analysts, so check in on them, make sure they're still doing well, because this series has got our heartbeats racing.
Yes, my heart's racing. We're getting tired already, and so are the players. This is an exhausting, grueling mental warfare that we're watching right here. So, Matt, walk me through this map, because it looked like, as Achilleo said, they had it on a silver platter. Well, this match was waiting for them to take it.
Well, the biggest thing was at the end. I know we were watching it, and it's like, you had such a nano boost advantage for Finn and ZETA division. He had the nano. RuPaul on the other side was like 60% or so. They actually probably played it, Toronto, as well as you could. They use a nano on the Fearless. He actually jumps up and gets knocked down by Vega, and they start to rotate around. What they don't account for is just a sick bio grenade as well that comes in from Finn.
Yeah, that was a great save from Finn because the Nano Winston missed entirely. Vega did hit that flail there to stop the Nano Winston, and then Nade saved it. But I think the big highlight of this match is the difference in the DPS. They took it somewhere else. They ended up going with the Echo Tracer. They made Merritt think a little bit. He started on the Widow, didn't get a lot of value. And if you don't hit headshots, you don't have a really good ult.
Yeah, a little bit of mind games here as well, because it was Toronto who actually got rid of the Ashe here for this map. And ZETA's able to win it. Like, they could even be like, hey, let's run it back with the Echo Tracer yet again. Maybe it's something we see them kind of go to.
We're going to be talking more before map number 7, the only map 7 of the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. This is the Esports World Cup.
always said it, how you liked me better than anyone. We cannot talk, we cannot just shrug or dust it off, or is that thought? 'Cause I cannot pretend I am your friend, I am your nothing.
Welcome back in, everybody. We are here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the Esports World Cup. This, the second semifinal, and there's only one map left to play. We haven't seen a Game 7, so the ball is now back in Toronto Ultra's court. They are going to get to choose where we're headed. McGravy, Mr. X here with me on the desk. This has been a blast so far, McGravy. It's been a long, grueling matchup. So who's able to seal the deal?
It's been an absolute slobber knocker. It's so hard to tell, man. My brain's shutting down. I have to imagine their brains are shutting down as well. It is hard. It is grueling to play 7 maps of Overwatch. Scrim blocks don't even last as long, and that's usually 2 hours of work. This is even harder than that.
Great call out there. So Matt, let's talk a little bit about what you do if you're a coach right now. Toronto Ultra with the advantage. They got that advantage by winning game number 1. After that, whoever picks the map seems to win the game.
Yeah, we've seen, for game number 1, right? It was like Busan. We've seen that gone. Midtown would be an option here potentially, right? But that's off of the table. Could be push. We saw Coliseo gone and Runasapi still in, and that's where a lot of teams have decided to go.
Any reason to maybe force out of control just for a little bit of short-term chaos?
I think control is so varied. It could potentially favor Toronto because it's so varied. You do have someone on the tank, but I think this is probably going somewhere a little faster. There's not a lot of double flex maps left for the Vega to play. I'm not really sure because the Midtown's gone, Circuit's gone, Dorado's gone. There's not a lot of options.
You wouldn't go like Eichenwald or Hollywood because of like the dive potential, right? And New Queen Street, I don't know if we've seen it once.
No, I haven't seen it at all since I've taken the stage. Let's take a look at the remaining game modes. We have Control, we have Hybrid, we have Push or Flashpoint to choose from. Escort is not on the table. And reminder, we cannot repeat any of the matches here in the best of 7.
And we already saw Servas, so like New Junk City, like you're gonna have to play Lucio. That doesn't kind of play into double flex.
That's not Vega.
Yeah, Lijiang Tower, like that is like a traditional like rush type of map.
I don't want to play Fearless on there.
I would say it's going to be Runasapi. Probably.
Would you rather have Bernard or Fearless in the game right now? That may be the ultimate decision for Toronto Ultra.
Yeah, it really depends on the bans. I think at this point, you want to avoid any sort of chance for Zeta Division to play the Winston, play the dive. So I think you might want to force Bernard into this game. And I think you might be right. It might be Runasapi simply because we talk about it multiple times this series. I think the team just like the map. I think you have to go something comfortable at this point.
Let's go to Push. It is Runasapi. You guys called it. Let's take a look here at our map as we put 10 minutes on the clock. That's what you get to work with, Matt. There's a lot of attention right now on the internet about this matchup. Everyone's getting ready for the Esports World Cup Grand Final. Who moves on? How do you get there? How is Push going to work?
I mean, we've seen every team that has selected their map win it in this series. I'm really curious at what we're going to see from the bans. I think that would really kind of determine for me, like, who we see coming out on top.
That's a great way to not give me a prediction. Let's head over to the Kadena Arena for the final map. Matt needs to see the bans before he's willing to pick a winner. This is so much fun, McGravy. I'm sweating and I'm not even playing for a spot in the championship match. Who do you think Toronto Ultra is going to remove from the game first?
Oh, man, it's so hard to say. I think you could potentially look at banning something like the Break. I'm not sure if it's banned yet before. You want to avoid Wrecking Ball. Fearless has shown that before, and this is also potentially a tank protection pick. You want someone to be very comfortable here. You want to keep his options open.
I also think it's a pretty clean read now of like, okay, what they decide to do if they swap him in, as Soldier 76
he's so handsome.
Is gone as well. So that's a little bit of an odd selection here.
And it looks like they're just, of course, protecting a DPS with that, or they're just saying, hey, we've gone to Game 7. We know what you're doing. It doesn't really matter. Bernard's back in. We're going to see Fearless on the bench. Matt, you got an eyebrow up in there. What's happening?
I mean, now that you kind of get an idea of 100% 100% on the Ultra side of what you're going to see, right? So if they would have left Fearless in, you would have known it is going to be strictly Winston probably all day long, because he probably would have gone to the ball, right? I know that's really kind of one of the other Doomfist, like what we see Fearless play. And with Bernard coming in, that tells you probably going to see a lot of D.Va.
Potentially a lot of D.Va. We've seen some teams throw the Zarya in there every once in a while on this map. We've seen Ram rush mirrors, Sigma rush mirrors, so there's a lot of options here for the off-tanks. I'm interested to see what someone does. Do they counter with the dive, or do they go mano-a-mano versus the off-tank?
This is Overwatch's version of tug of war, reversed, Matt. Let's see who can push to the other side of the map faster. I broke your brain with that one.
Well, I mean, if it's tug of war reversed, I mean, it's not really tug of war at that point.
I was just thinking the reverse of push is tug. Anyway, let's get into the game, shall we? Achilleos, Avril, please take the mics away from us.
We absolutely will. You guys are getting a little bit too silly, having a little bit too much fun down there in the cube. So let's go ahead and make things a little bit more serious. A final map, our first 7-mapper here in the playoffs. Winning team moving into the grand final later tonight to play against Crazy Raccoon. Is it going to be Zeta Division clashing against the Korean Brethren once more, or will it be Toronto Ultra carrying the banner for North America, challenging to see if they can take down their second Korean squad in a row? We are about to find out. Everything on the line. Losing here means elimination, your key crushed, and you lose that opportunity to double up your prize pool. You lose the opportunity to be able to claim that $400,000 at the end of it all in first place.
History could be made here for Toronto Ultra, their first international final in franchise history in an NA versus Korea matchup for their final. But first, they have to get past the Korean team. For Zeta Division, this will be their first final for this team as well in their current form. They've been third place so many times in the Asia OWCS. They want to get top 2, guaranteed. Final map coming into play, no Wrecking Ball, no Fearless in, a strange Soldier 76 ban coming through in Zeta Division. Honestly, I think the Tracer should have been banned here. You need to shut down Sugar Free, and because the Tracer's available, Sugar Free's going to go for it.
That he was delivering despite the loss there on Toronto in such big ways. Made that map competitive. And someone now coming out here with the Sigma to go up against Bernard on this D.Va.
A good call there. D.Va, obviously a fantastic pick for Runasapi. Honestly, a lot of counterplay on this map, though. We see a lot of D.Va, and then to the Zarya swap, potentially for the Ram to come through as well, and that's online for Zeta Division. They want to go towards the Ram. That's a good matchup into someone. It's a very different style coming through from both teams. You have the very classic Toronto Ultra, the horse they've been riding on the entire tournament, double flex into the Sigma versus a D.Va dive from Zeta.
Drop down here, Alpha E getting aggressive, does recall out. Gets himself in too rough of a spot to be able to escape. But Sugar Free, similarly, gonna have to burn the recall. But for now, except 2 meters scooped up here for the side of Zeta Division. So we wait for some neutral kills to come through. And Zeta Division right now on the hunt, looking for them as Merit's going to be taken low. But now Flora maybe in a bit of a bad spot here as the Immortality Field gets cleared out. RuPaul will fall. Flora gives his life to set up for these picks. Vega taken down. Finn now last one standing as far as the supports are concerned for Zeta Division. Just trying to stay alive, trying to keep Bernard in this mix. And he will be able to barrel over someone. The push can now begin.
All in power, so strong for Lucio Kiriko into the D.Va. And Vega knows that he's going to swap over towards the Brig. And for Toronto Ultra, RuPaul nearly had the window there, but timing was not on his side as Zeta Division decide to push down on the pedal and go for it. Now Finn is the one sitting up the Katsuna Rush. Maybe a little bit difficult for Toronto Ultra to absorb here, but having the Brig will at least help a little bit.
High ground situated there from RuPaul. Decent spot potentially for him to try to utilize that window, but we'll have to drop down and take some more forward space here. Spot getting closer towards that checkpoint. Someone holding up front, just trying to keep this locked in position for the time being. Pulse bomb available on both sides.
Zeta a little patient here. I mean, they have ultimate advantage. They must realize this. Vega also swapped heroes, so they might just be waiting for Violet, but now they have everything to play through.
Okay, well,
oh my, Violet Ajax.
That's
no
an
way.
Ajax to
no
start
way.
things off. Violet still does, or Finn rather, does still have that Kitsune Rush. Invested Merit with a headshot, however, able to take down Flora. Alpha E, Bernard all dead, and Violet
not like this.
Out in the open.
Not like
hands the keys to the kingdom over to him.
Just, I mean, you are just peeking into a window from RuPaul. What is going on? Violet's getting money again. He's getting the money again. We saw it versus Atlanta Rain in 2021. He jumps for no reason, and now he's going to Ajax in map 7. Such an important map, and momentum so important because they had all this momentum and they just throw it away. Violet, what are you doing?
Live by Violet, die by Violet. That time it was a die. Let's see if they can get resurrected though and get back into this map. They only give up 18 meters here on the push. The recontest comes through. There's still an opportunity for ZETA to spare the blushes of their Lucio. Pickup coming through as the Flux gets invested. Bernard widely untouched by that one as Deadeye clears out some space. Flora just shoving them back, so ultimately things have been mitigated. Finn taking a bit of damage, flashbang gonna be lobbed in, but Flora ends up falling. Finn eliminated, and now the pushback comes through here for Toronto Ultra. HP bar is gonna be going low. Bernard able to get on top of one, but will just surrender the mech. Doesn't want to commit that self-destruct. Needs to die and reset fast.
Yeah, well, they're gonna stagger him just at least a little bit here. At least ZETA Division still have barely a lead as Toronto Ultra is going to try and fight for the flip. They'll probably get the flip, but can they get the cap? That's the most important thing. ZETA Division have mostly, they have used up their entire ult bank. Toronto Ultra have only a rally to play through, but RuPaul is going to find the timing on the window yet again very soon. ZETA, you can't just allow the cap to come through. They got to contest.
Contest getting ready to come in, but a lot of tools to try to slow things up. That rally pop, Vega, the shield bash has to be respected. Looking to try to put some damage down across here onto this Brig, but Vega more than healthy as Pulse Bump from Sugar Free. Going to be going a little bit wide, lands on the ground, cannot find that kill. Bernard taking low, dashes back. Kitsune Rush nearly online as they just desperately try to keep Violet alive this time, but Bernard will get broken out and the cap does come through.
Yeah.
There's too much poke, too much prodding here. ZETA Division have to play back, but now they're looking to counteract. Kitsune Rush comes in, they go forward, looking to try to get on top of someone. Heels come in across, but he's still going to be hovering quite low, and eventually Will falls for it, finds that kill with the bomb from Marin, able to take down Alpha Yi. Bernard now at risk, Violet similarly falling low, taken down as Sugar Free finds the kill. And that is going to be Toronto Ultra losing out on their tank, but still persevering and now continuing the push.
I mean, the Bob actually did a lot of work there. Doesn't have the greatest angle, but it prevents a dive from ZETA Division. So actually, Alpha Yi being caught out, didn't realize the Bob angle maybe. That is a really unfortunate death. And because Sugar Free's still alive, the clutch potential is still there. I mean, we talked about it. Soldier 76 band does nothing in this matchup. Toronto Ultra, they're going to continue pushing on through. They have 80 meters, so they've doubled the meters.
It's been a big rally back here for him. As Sleep Dart not going to connect. Finn lobbing in, but Bionade going to be shorted. Immortality Field taken down. Floor with the Pulse Bomb, able to find a root ball, and that's the kind of momentum that you want to be seeing here if you're a ZETA fan. Solid push back, but still quite a bit of distance now to try to make up for. Down by 42. We'll take away the forward spawns to start things off. For now, just the barrage here for them. Plenty of ultimates, though, on the way for Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, ZETA Division still have an opportunity here. There is time remaining, but the issue is now Toronto Ultra. More ultimates coming online.
And Violet not there yet.
You need to still cap here. ZETA do not have cap. They do not have any setup for the cap. They have to win this mid-fight first and ideally force a lot of Toronto Ultra ultimates out, but yeah, the pick count to Flora is just going to reset the mech all the way back for Toronto Ultra to get even more distance.
Oh, what a stick. Finn going to be taken down. Sugar Free starting things off. Alpha Yi will be able to find one. Immortality Field broken down, but now supportless here are ZETA Division. Bernard going to be broken out of the mech this time. Does pull the trigger on this one. Sends the self-destruct. And while in pilot form, actually finds a kill here on Merit. Solid return fire ultimately here for the side of ZETA Division, but they still have so much distance. The bot is right back into a push spot, so they have to reset once again.
Yeah, well, and then they got about a minute less to work with. I think a minute 30 actually less to play through. They really can't afford to lose too many fights. Again, they still have to cap. It was only the rally burned as well. They need to burn a lot more. Ideally for ZETA, someone in RuPaul also put in ultimates in that fight. Ultra 3 minutes 20 away from confirming a grand final. Again, first in their franchise history. Be so big for North America to finally take down a Korean team, and they're ever so close. ZETA Division, what are they going to do here? Flux coming through from someone.
Flux
no
is
good
out.
defensive ultimates.
Yeah, drop down, not going to be finding much. Nano across here on to Bernard. Diving into the back line, looking for RuPaul. Immortality Field not quite dealt with fast enough to be able to get the punish there. And the return fire is solid as ever here from Toronto Ultra. Not dissuaded, not flinching. They shut them down, they get the team kill. They usher the bot back across the map.
ZETA are not getting any distance. They're not getting any momentum here. They're using ultimates. They're not getting any real purchase in this entire map. I mean, 2:30 left. This is down to the wire. I mean, last map, ZETA Division had such a great start, thrown away. Toronto Ultra now just have to play a good defensive game. Keep shoving the payload deep into ZETA Division. and they don't even have to push. Look at this, Toronto Ultra can just chill here.
Dead-eye now from Merit. Zones them back, Sleep Dart will connect. Interrupts the ult, but Sugar Free on the hunt. The drop down coming through. The pulse bomb is stuck once again. Fine spin. Merit going to be traded, but they can take it down at the same time.
Sugar Free,
Equalize now,
man.
and Violet will fall. Sugar Free doing his damnedest, but now he's all alone. Cannot find Alpha Yi. It's a return team kill here now for Zeta Division, but they still only have 2 minutes, and they have not gotten any additional distance.
They have to do this. If Zeta Division do not get capped off of these next 2 fights, it's a huge problem. Someone going over towards the Winston. Bit of a change up now from Toronto Ultra. Okay, I mean, the signal was working. I'm not too sure about this, honestly. They're ahead. There's no time remaining. Toronto Ultra could have slowed down the game just by continuing to play the same comp. Now, taking a bit of a gamble here. Zeta Division, as I said, with this amount of time remaining, this is basically must-win fights. In fact, they've already got the mid. They're threatening the cap.
Threatening it, but this is where things had unraveled for them last time. Dive forward from someone. He's in deep, and Violet taken down. Finn antied out. Still alive here for the moment, but now will be taken down as Sugar Free continues on his reign of terror. Long shall he reign. Another elimination for this Tracer. He is unassailable, untouchable, and what he's doing is unthinkable.
And what he's doing is sending Toronto Ultra into the grand finals with 1 minute left to play through Zeta Division. Finn and Violet eat a huge bar net from RuPaul. Violet gets taken down, can't use the sound barrier, and that might just be the play that wins the map for Toronto Ultra. Zeta Division still have ultimates to play through, but look at the payload. It's reset all the way on the other side of the map.
Nearly
and
5.
we're down to 40 seconds.
There's another pulse bomb here, and Alpha E dead off the rip. Rally, pop, Vega will get melted. Bernard able to find 2. Merritt going to be taken down. Sound barrier goes across this time here for Violet, and Bernard, he's going to be the one filling up the kill feed. Sugar Free with a recall, just looking to wreak havoc here even further. Take out a pick if possible, but also keep this bot locked in position. He knows he can rejoin quickly.
Oh, the D-Mech.
Do so. The D-Mech is there. The self-destruct force. Someone will get taken down here in the end, but still there's so much cost.
Yeah, the cost is a time wastage. We're into OT now. This is going to be final fight. This next fight could decide the entire semifinals. 7 maps to get down to this with still 40 meters left to push if you're Zeta Division. 2 good ultimates, but guess what? Someone has the primal, a really good stalling tool, and Zeta still need to cap. They have to do it now.
Finn gonna have to be Johnny on the spot. Take him out with that sleep dart. Maybe set up for the execution. Sugar Free gonna be noted there on the flank. Bot now pushing forward, the checkpoint nearly obtained. Nano across onto Alpha E. They don't have it for the tank. Flora dead as he tries to go for the pulse bomb. Bernard knocked out of the mech, and that is going to do it. The Deadeye fights Bernard. Violet is eliminated. Everyone on the floor, but Toronto Ultra out of their seats and into the grand final.
And finally, redemption for Toronto. Years being in the Overwatch League, the mid allegations have been put to rest. And a Zeta Division with hands in heads. Kasaurus, amazing bands